This episode of an Unexpected Podcast is brought to you by Joan Moses. Thank you. Hello, friends, and welcome to an Unexpected Podcast. I'm Ez.
And I'm Lane.
And we're talking Tolkien.
We're coming to you from the Shire of America, the beautiful state of Ohio, in a little village called Amanda.
Yeah. And this week, we pass through fire and water.
Do I need to tell, okay, so did you read the next line?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ez never reads these, okay? So this
I'm
is
telling
also what's
everyone
going on.
you've never seen the movies. I actually thought
Do you
this
know
was
where
a
this-
reference to I've
He's
seen fire.
Oh,
I've seen rain.
You go James Taylor when you could have gone the White Wizard. Okay, guys, Ezra has never seen the movies. I said I'd have to say it, and I said it. This is a very special week. I mean, every week is special, but like back to back.
Come on.
I feel like I should play Drake's back to back. We'd probably lose our fan-sided agreement.
It's gone.
YouTube would kick us off, but back to back, man. Okay, 92, 93, 97, 98. You pick them.
Yep.
We had Kurt Jones last week.
Yeah.
And sitting right across from me and next to you is Mike Charles, his brother in Middle-earth. Faramir last week, our very own Boromir. You know, it's just amazing how your friends take on their favorite character and then you associate that character with them. And it's like, he's our Boromir.
Yeah.
You know, Kurt's our Faramir. It's just like it's amazing how.
Yeah.
But
fitting.
we've got Mike Charles in the Shire. We've had a beautiful evening catching up, eating some great food, hanging out, and we've come to it.
Yeah.
We've come to it. We are reading the chapter. What is it, chapter 14? I could look.
It's chapter 14.
14. Okay.
Fire and water.
Fire and water. This is a huge chapter.
Yeah.
But we're mostly excited because it's a huge chapter, but it's a short chapter.
Yeah.
So we're going to spend so much time just filling in the white spaces,
And
filling up the cracks.
I think
Whoa.
we need some. Well, yeah. Wow.
Should I have said something different there?
That's fine. I guess whatever.
Putting water on the fire. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some crackling, I guess, because of the fire
True.
and the water. I don't know.
Lots of steam.
It's
gonna
to cover
get steamy in here.
Trying to cover.
Well, he's a movie star, so
We're gonna see. We have a lot of context. We have to get. We have a lot of things.
I know.
I have a song I want to sing to you guys. A lot of different things. But first, Mike, how you doing? How you feeling? Honored to be back here in the Shire.
Wow. Honored or offered?
Honored.
Okay, honored.
Honored. Honored at the offer.
Oh
God. No. Yeah.
It's been a long time. I'm
It
trying to
has
think.
been.
When was the last? Was it LEP 2 that I saw you in the flesh? That I saw your flesh?
Did we record before or after?
I think
that
we
one?
recorded before.
Okay, so well then, yeah. Wow. Ridiculous.
So almost 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Wow. A lot has happened.
Really
in your
does. Feels
life.
like I was
Seem
just here, though.
I know, doesn't it?
It doesn't seem like that.
When you're back with friends, it
does.
It all falls back into step. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Lots of stuff going on in your life. You are I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm going to.
Go
You're a father. You're a girl dad.
I am.
You are a movie star now.
Well.
I mean, tell everybody how you're doing. Tell everybody what's going on and you know what's new in the life of Mike Charles. You're a fan favorite, man.
Oh, I don't
Uppers
know
love.
about
Oh,
that.
shit.
No, come on now. He's so humble.
This
Nobody's
modesty.
special.
That's not like Boromir, by the way. That's the opposite of Boromir.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Now you're going to defend Boromir?
Well,
Jeez.
I don't know. He was just doing his job at the council.
True that.
I think he was well liked by a lot of Gondorians.
He did put those hobbits on his back and carry him through the snow, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
That's true.
But no, I'm doing well. The last year has been insane, to say the least. Of course, I think everybody can say that. But in that year, the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me happened, and I had my beautiful little girl. She's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Mm-hmm. And she made the pandemic very interesting. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't have done it any differently. But things have been going well. Before pandemic, which I don't know how much you want me to get into this right now, but pre-pandemic, I had the honor of
enjoying this.
Yes, sir. I had the honor of being in 2 different movies.
Let's go.
So 2 that were filming in Cleveland. The first one that I got to film, I was just an extra in both movies, so I didn't have like a speaking part or anything. But you can see me in both finished pieces. But the first movie I was in was Cherry, which is Tom Holland's newest movie. I was just like a background pedestrian. And the second was Daniel Kaluuya's newest movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, which is about Fred Hampton in the 60s and the Black Panthers. And I was actually a prison guard in the scene where he goes to prison. Originally in that one, I was right behind him filming a scene where we all line up and walk out. I was kind of bummed to see that I didn't make that part, but I'm in a different shot in the background escorting another prisoner to a cell. So still, both really, really cool experiences. I got to stand right next to Tom Holland. I got to be right next to both Russo brothers that directed the Avengers movies. So it was an exciting couple of days.
And you were talking about, the professionalism of being an extra, how you can't cross that fanboy line.
Right.
And just how difficult that was.
It was.
For you. Because I would have to be out. I'd be like, guys, just blacklist me. I got to talk to Tom for a second. Yeah. I mean, if it was like a Viggo Mortensen film, forget it.
Yep.
I'm out. Yeah, you'd be one and done.
Yeah. They'd be like, this guy became an extra just to talk to Viggo.
Yep.
Kick his butt out of here.
Gone.
He's a shame. Shame on him. Get him out.
I get it.
That's professional, man.
Yeah. There was one time, though, when I was doing Cherry, the Tom Holland's movie, where they cut the scene. And the scene is, for those of you that have seen the movie, it's when he walks out of the bank and there's a car on fire and he walks down the street with his buddies. And I'm kind of on the side of the street. You can only see me walking away. But they cut the scene and they were having trouble putting the car fire out.
Oh my gosh.
Because this is an actual fire that they lit for every take. So they were having issues getting the car fire out. So they kind of pushed everybody over to the side to get out of the way. And I kind of made a point to get as close to Tom Holland as I possibly could, which was really cool. But yeah, and then at the end of the day, we filmed another scene where I was like in this proximity with you guys with both Russo brothers, which was pretty cool. And it took everything in me. Even after they cut and we were done for the day, I wanted to just go up to him and be like, guys, thank you for Avengers.
Yeah,
I wanted to so bad, but I was just like, I better not. I better just leave them alone.
How cool that you got to like see them and be a part of them working.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nuts too, to think. Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around that. Like a director that I love and then being a part of a film that they're directing.
Mm-hmm. It was just so surreal
crazy.
Because, I mean, you guys know I'm a huge Marvel guy. Mm-hmm. And, I've seen so many, behind the scenes stuff and, with them on the screen and everything. And when I was there with him, it just felt, I can't explain it.
Yeah, I don't know how you, yeah. What Mike is not telling us is that there's a third role.
Yep.
And we think it might have to do with a certain,
Amazon
loader on
production.
Prime show.
Yeah,
we can't figure it out. Okay. Like he's being very mysterious about it. And then we're starting to draw some lines with, Kurt last week.
Right.
He looked different. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, Kurt's always slim, but he looked even slimmer. He looked ripped.
Yep.
Looked like film shape. Mike is in film shape.
Yep.
So what's going on? And we brought up the whole what's going on with the new hairdo, the beard, like what's you're looking very similar. So I'm thinking there's something afoot here. I don't know. Maybe they are spies trying to see how much we really know about the show.
Yeah. Yep.
All I know is for this new one that I just got selected for, I am either a college professor or
Tolkien. Are you being Tolkien?
I don't know.
Are you being Tolkien?
I don't know.
It's not like a 5-year.
Are you being Tolkien? Is that who you're being?
College professor, or you're gonna have to get some glasses or something.
I am. I can't remember what the other one was, but it's college professor. It's a Netflix movie, and that's about all I know.
Wow.
So, and that's
in Cleveland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's in the next month or so.
It's sad because I do know that the Lord of the Rings show is not being produced by Netflix. So
or filmed in Cleveland.
Can you imagine?
Wow. Could you imagine?
I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I think Cleveland could pull it off. I love Cleveland. I love Cleveland. A lot of people bash Cleveland.
That could be they could do something up there and then run down to Hockey Hills if they wanted to.
In the 70s, you could have filmed it as Mordor with that burning river.
Oh my gosh.
Dark Tower right there.
Holy
hello.
interpretation.
I think at one point the EPA said, just leave it.
Wow.
Just keep doing what you're doing. There's no saving that river.
Well, there goes our Cleveland audience.
Go look up the Cuyahoga River. Is the Cuyahoga River?
Sure.
I don't even know, man. See how bad I'm so bad. The river in Cleveland, I think it's the Cuyahoga. Caught on fire back in the 60s or 70s. So go check that out.
Have you guys ever seen the Cleveland tourism videos?
No.
They're older. Oh.
Are they?
We got to watch those.
Wow.
They're very good.
I love Cleveland so much.
We'll have to watch it.
Okay, we're going to have to watch those later. Little extended edition.
So, but yeah, I mean, the last year, it's been insane, but it's been great. My wife and I have been fortunate to keep our jobs. Of course, it's been very different. She's a teacher, so you guys kind of know a little bit about that, just what you guys have had to go through. And I've been fortunate enough to work from home for the most part, which I got to take care of our little girl, which she was born prematurely. So she's fine, healthy. She can't be any better.
She's crawling around.
Yeah, she's everywhere.
9 months crawling around.
Gosh. She is keeping me on my toes so much.
Dude.
So, but yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.
That's awesome.
I love it. I was thinking about, I was just thinking about you, being a dad and Kelly, Mike's wife, Kelly, is one of the very few people. So, okay, Ez and I were both in early education classes.
Are you about to use the word tolerate? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was going to use even a better word than tolerate. I was going to give her more credit, or I guess it's us. So maybe it's not credit. I don't know. Maybe it's, no, it is, because if you patronize someone like us, then you're a special person, I think. Like you're almost probably a saint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in our early education courses, Ez and I were like a handful of men. And most of the girls, women, young ladies, whatever, in our fellow classmates who were females.
Yep.
I never know what to say. They were, the attitude towards us was predominantly, I would say probably 60% was, well, okay, they're here to take our jobs. They think because they're men, they're just going to get jobs. They don't even try hard. And I remember thinking, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. We're going into a field where everyone looks down on us because we're men, because they think that we're lazy. We're not going to be getting paid very much money. That's why we're here. You're right. You're right. That's to take your job. That's absolutely right. Plus, I've had women hired over me plenty of times.
Why are you confirming what they...
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just giving them. I'm giving them everything they need. But Kelly was one of the few. She was that 30% who was always kind to us.
Yeah.
Always had a good time with us. Laughed with us. Treated us like one of the girls.
Quiet.
And
did her thing.
Oh man, but I think about, it's because we got to know Kelly, and I was in school with Kelly's sister Amy, so I knew Amy. We actually had the same birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. But like just thinking about how lucky your daughter is to have the both of you as parents is what I'm driving towards. Just kind, generous, loving. Like you are one of the, I was telling Sarah, I was like, Mike Charles is one of the best listeners in the world. Like he will, and it like you could ramble on forever, and he's not tuning out.
Yeah.
He's listening to what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's appreciating everything that you're bringing to a conversation. It's amazing. So your daughter's so lucky. You're obviously blessed and lucky to have her, but she is going to have such a beautiful life because she has you both as parents, and parents who love her very much. So
well, thank you.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. I don't know how to do, this is great. I feel like we have so much room to just breathe, because this chapter is a lot happens, right? But it's like 5 pages long.
Yeah. No,
are you a hater of this chapter?
No, I'm not a hater of it, but I do.
How are you? I'm sorry.
No.
Where are my manners? How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Actually, I wanted to bring up something to Mike here. As we have, I wanted to kind of start off with, every time I see Mike,
is this a song?
And I think of you guys. I think of one song.
You're everything I want.
No. Okay.
That's not even the right word.
You ready for this?
He's
I want to see if
It's
Mike can
close.
pick up on what this song is, but I heard it every single time. Whenever
Can you play this?
no, I'm going to sing it for you. It's even better.
Oh,
is this the one you're going to sing?
So it goes,
people's hearts.
when the
are
music fades and all is stripped away. And a simply I knew I would get him with that. Oh my gosh. I'm coming back to the heart. Come on.
Why did you never lead worship?
I should have.
Oh my God.
I should have led worship. Every single time I went over to youth group,
it was a popular song, man.
I was coming back to the heart of worship. Okay, and shame on me, Lord, for not remembering
Lord,
that
save
that's
us.
what it's all about.
Lord bless us.
Oh my gosh, it's all about you. It's all about you.
We do it.
Thank you for that.
I mean, this is
Down
wild
memory lane.
because we've known Mike a long time. Like I was actually trying to calculate. Actually, I have something in a minute here that will not date it exactly, but pretty close. Like 15 years, 16 years. I was like a sophomore in high school when we met, and it was at a youth group, and it was a youth group that Ez used to slip into the back of and.
Oh yeah,
Be there for a second and
it was
peace out and come in. Ez would just see what
I
stuff
just saw-
what
I
was
trying to see
going
what's
on.
going on in there, man.
He came for
Well,
that song, right?
I
then
only
he peaced
came for
out.
that song, and we had
And only listen for Mike's voice.
That's it. Really. Actually, I used to go in there and I would just time how long everybody was praying for. I was like, who's going to last the longest up there? And I would just watch the old clock and I would say, wow.
I used to spend so much time with that all day.
Where was the scoreboard on that?
Just
It was-
praying for strength.
Were they going back there saying, well, today it was Mike. Mike led us. He was at 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Scoreboard's back in the church. That boy was praying his heart out. No, I actually was the weirdo who didn't know what was going on. I was like, I grew up in a church of we'd have 20 people at a service.
Well, the
at
median
service.
age was like 85.
I had
too.
no kids. There were
Yeah,
no kids.
Uh-uh.
And so my mom, there was just kind of, you want to go over there? I mean, go over there. And I would go over there and kind of look. And I knew Lane. And then we had a mutual friend who I kind of, knew Mike through. And I got to just know some of the people in there. And I was like, what is it? What is youth group? I didn't know what it was. I didn't have no clue. I thought it was kind of cool, but I didn't know how to interact with everybody.
Well, he didn't know who Michael Jackson was.
Yeah.
It's
Wasn't allowed to listen.
they're like a youth groups can be a confusing thing, can't they? Like it's like such a I mean, I've thought about this in retrospect. Like it's a difficult time of it's just a strange time of life. You're preteen teenager. A lot's going on. You're dealing with a lot of emotions. Spirituality can be a very emotional thing too. Like it's crazy to I don't know. People have great experiences. People have terrible experiences. People have experiences in between. Some people never go. You know what I mean? And they're all just but it's interesting that like the best thing for me that came out of that was friendships. Like the friendship that we have. We never would have met each other.
Yep.
There's no way. Went to different schools. It was pre, social media stuff, so we wouldn't have run into each other that way. And something that happened with Mike and I, where I'm going with this, is we were both stories that we are still currently working on were hatched way back then. And I don't even know how we found this out about each other. But there was probably, I would say months, if not like a full year, where we would regularly. Was it that long, or was it even less time? I don't remember.
It was a few months at least.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
We would get together before youth group early on a Wednesday night. We would bring our stories.
Wow.
We would bring our art, and we would kind of have like a mini inkling. It's just the two of us talking about, I came up with this character, no idea where he's going to go.
Right.
Here's this. Here's a new names I've found for places, and I think the story's going to go here. And I asked you about it today. I was like, you still working on that story? Yeah. He is. I was like, awesome. I'm still working on my fairy tale. And it's just so cool to think about. I don't know. Like clearly you and I are doing it because we love it. It's a nice outlet. It's something that we want to finish someday and be able to go like, just look. Like it's amazing how some people do it for profession. Other people do it for profession and because they love it. Right. And some people do it just because they love it. And like I have such good memories of sitting there and sharing something that because at that point I had never shared I had this fear of sharing stuff I created. You know what I mean? Especially as a teenager too. You feel vulnerable. You're like, man, people are going to make fun of me, or they're going to think it's stupid, or I'm going to think it's stupid.
Right.
And you're paralyzed by that fear. But I was able to go to you, and we both had each other to kind of like talk through that creative process. And it was such a, man, like such a great memory. Such a great memory. And I don't even do that really. Sarah's the only one I really talk to about it now. I give Ez some stuff every once in a while when I'm like, maybe, it's just, you don't know who's gonna care even now. And so it's one of those things that is, I don't know, it taught me a lot, and it was such a fond memory that I have. And it all happened because of a youth group.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. Yeah.
It is.
So that's what I would walk in there. I'd see you
Heart of worship.
I'd see you two back there in the corner, and I thought, what's going on back there?
They're getting down to the heart of worship.
Those guys were here hours before. What is going on?
Hey, now, not to get too religious here, but I mean like fire and water.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, both cleansing. Both cleansing.
Both cleansing. Wow.
And I'm kind of I've given you plenty of time here, as that. You know what that reference is?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Gandalf falling through fire.
Okay, thank God. All right.
Yeah. I thought actually.
Did you know before?
Yes, I thought you were actually talking about a song. I legitimately thought you were talking about a song of some kind, because you had a link in there for like a YouTube video. So I thought maybe it would just be. Oh, okay.
You fell
through
fire.
Yeah.
The life in me again. Have you ever noticed that sound?
Very accurate.
That breathing.
That was really good.
It's like, can you imagine though, like as an actor going, okay, I'm going to breathe.
How many times
life.
did you have to do that?
I would go, like,
I bet he did. I bet there's a bunch of outtakes where he really did, like, had a good laugh.
all right, Ian, just like, not as, I'm a British Peter Jackson, Yeah, anyway, we're having a blast. Good to catch up with everybody. Life is awesome. We were talking about just the last year, because it's been, so long. Something I didn't mention that I think we all kind of feel is this general sense of like hope. Like stuff seems better, or it feels better. Restrictions are not as great as they used to be. Things are opening up again, and we feel like this sense of hope for the first time. And it's beautiful that it coincides with spring and summer, and so good times. And this is something we've been looking forward to for a long time. I think originally we planned on doing this last fall.
Yeah.
And it, like with Kurt Jones, it just got pushed back, and it was like, we're just going to have to wait. Yeah. And here we are. It's an amazing thing.
Here we are.
So my friend, I wanted to ask, I think the last time we recorded, we had very little information about the show.
Right.
What, with the little bits of information we found out, which is mostly just like who's directing, actors and actresses cast, where they're filming, what are you looking, Second Age, obviously, right?
Yep.
What are you looking forward to for the show? What are you wanting? What has you excited about this? Are you excited about it? How much do you know? How much have you dug into the Silmarillion, the Second Age, that kind of stuff? I don't even know.
It's been, so I can't tell you the last time I read Silmarillion.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
And I never have, all the way through.
It's heavy stuff to get through. Very good stuff, but heavy stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think like a lot of people, I'm staying a little skeptical.
Okay.
I want them to honor what Peter Jackson did.
Okay, yeah.
I want them to honor what Tolkien did. I don't want...
How do you feel about nudity in Middle-earth? I'm asking everyone about this.
Wow. Getting straight to the point.
I think Kurt said, as long as it's tender. Is that what he said? I have to go back and listen. He put it very soft. He said soft. It's got to be soft. Can't be ancestral.
No.
Even though I know that there's aspects of that happen in Tolkien's mythology. But no hardcore.
It doesn't need to be Game of Thrones.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
it does not need to be Game of Thrones.
Do you have a fear that they might tow a rope that goes too close to that? Like trying to play off of, even though there's similarities, and obviously George R.R. Martin was influenced by Tolkien. He loved Tolkien, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong in saying that?
No,
so he was an inspiration for him.
Yep.
Are you afraid that they might try to like stylistically go too far that way as opposed to staying more to the movies?
What
do you think?
I'm not bashing Game of Thrones. I like Game of Thrones. I've read all the books.
Yeah, you're a book guy though.
I am.
Yeah.
The show, it was all right.
Is that because they killed Sean Bean?
I knew that was
partially. Is that partially why?
When I saw he was going to be in it, I knew he was dying.
That's true. That's true. He dies and everything. Yeah.
But I really hope they don't do it just for the sake of having it. I hope they don't. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't need to be in there, I don't think it needs to be in there.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. I think that. I mean, that's if we're going to have it, that's fine.
And I don't. Trying to think back on the last time I read Silmarillion and everything that's in there, I can't. Which there may be. I can't think of any instances where that was even brought up.
Yeah. I think it'd definitely be reading between the lines and just maybe some character development stuff. And I think you're. Yeah.
I mean, I know times have changed since Lord of the Rings came out, but I mean, you look at the success of that movie.
Yeah.
And how many swear words are in that movie? How much nudity was in that movie? There's absolutely nothing in that movie, and it's it's three of the greatest movies ever made.
And I think that a lot of its power came from that. I think a lot of its power came from a modesty, but not shying away from like really real things. You know what I mean? Like us being able to watch it as 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
Without our parents going, I'm gonna have to watch this first, or there's a scene you can't see because you're like, a teenager. Right. It's just not appropriate. I do think that was one of the, and even like you said, it was a different world then. It was 20 years ago. Isn't that crazy? This year, 20 years.
Yeah.
But it was, some of its strength came from that. I think that it didn't do certain things that, were becoming popular in films.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because I think there's enough content.
Yeah.
There's enough good stories there.
Yeah.
That it has enough to sell itself.
Yeah.
You don't need to add all this extra crap in it that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like there has to be a reason for it. Like if you're gonna do something, I think this is kind of what Kurt was hinting.
Yeah,
at.
like if Ez wanted to kiss me or something.
Yeah, there needs to be context behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and like with Game of Thrones, I mean, that stuff was in the books.
Yeah.
If not even more graphic.
Yes.
Oh, really?
So
okay. All right.
So I mean, it made sense to be in the show.
Sometimes, yeah.
So like for me, I don't think that stuff's in. Like that stuff wasn't in Lord of the Rings. What if they added that stuff in Lord of the Rings? It's just completely unnecessary. I don't think they need that for it to be a success, for people to be happy.
I like that, falling back on the text. I think that, and so the one thing that I feel so much, or I take solace in the fact that Payne and McKay, the showrunners, are such big fans of Tolkien as an author and as a creator, and going back. I mean, what was the very first thing they released was a Tolkien quote. It's all started with a map.
Yeah.
And time again they've referenced like deep OG references to Tolkien, where sometimes I'm like, what is it? What are they? I have to go look that up. I don't know what they love the books themselves, and so that to me, I keep thinking like, okay, I think they're going to toe a line that leans more towards the Middle-earth we know, and is less, because I think a lot of people are afraid that it's going to be kind of jarring, and not feel the same as Middle-earth, and that we know anyway. But yeah. What do you think about like Sauron being, sort of getting to know him a little bit more, maybe seeing Anatar and that sort of dynamic, and the Númenóreans and.
Yeah, I mean, just like we were talking a little bit ago, the book you showed me, just different, the artwork, just like I enjoy seeing different artwork. I mean, we think of Alan Lee as like the Lord of the Rings illustration.
Yeah, he and John Howe, right?
Yeah, and John Howe. Seeing other people's interpretations, it's really cool, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do.
It will be
with these characters.
Yeah.
And the other thing I do not want to see though is any cheap copies or imitations of characters that we already know and love and hold up on a pedestal to be these characters. I hope that they don't do anything to mess with that.
Yeah.
I like that. It's what I'm hearing from you is this preserving sort of the spirit of what the Middle-earth, the universe that Tolkien created. You know what I mean? The spirit behind his works, and I think that's why they brought in like the likes of Tom Shippey and things like that. And they've tried to keep the spirit. And the reason I
Too bad Corey Olsen fired him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a shame. But like, you look at this. So I always love to pull up the timeline here and just look at all the different kings and queens.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
Things. Like the forging of the ring doesn't happen until like 1600 years into the Second Age, and you're where do you start?
I know, and
so they have to do their own adaptation.
I know, and that's something Kurt brought up. He was like, it's 3,500 years.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The Second Age. And
what story are you going to tell inside of that?
Right, and he made a great point that I like. We've talked about this before, so I don't need to bring it up too much. But like the idea of Sauron, Anatar going to the east and disappearing, and like, what does he do there? Does he make cults? Like, does he create a following out there? Well, what happened? Like, but something Kurt brought up. He was like, you gotta at least for the first season, you gotta hit a home run by bringing up someone we're all familiar with, and it's not even really someone. It's the ring. Yeah. I think he's dead on when you say it's got to be focused around the creation of the ring at some level. Now you can jump around in time, you could jump around places for sure. Maybe you could even go back in future seasons. I don't know if you don't want to do that, but the fact that like he said, you don't want to lose people who just know the movies. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Who are still fans, who
Absolutely.
still love Middle-earth.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I say you got to keep to the spirit of it. Let me give you one example.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What, like you've talked a lot about Sauron and Anatar and the creation, the forging of the ring. But during that time, a lot of things do happen there. But like you go through several kings before, like he's defeated, then he comes back, he submits, and then he turns the Numenorians. I mean, over a course
the cults and stuff, and the
so many years, right? So what do you show us in that kind of I don't know, like the opening prologue to like this is the setup for all of this? And this, once we see it, kind of like what we see in Lord of the Rings, we see, that battle, right? We see Sauron defeated and
Alliance.
The whole thing, right? Yep. So something like that would be a good setup. And then what I think is so cool is one of my favorite characters, Glorfindel.
Oh yeah,
Glorfindel. If the need was so great to send him, why? Like if you can get behind that a little bit and explain that there is a great need in that land that will need to send the likes of Glorfindel there.
Do you think?
I just show me some scenes like that, and I'm in, baby. I'm like,
because I've said before, I think it'd be really cool if you could open with the banishing of Morgoth, like the end of the War of Wrath. I would love somehow, like just I don't know. That. It wouldn't have to be. I don't even know exactly how it happens.
His disciple.
You just see him like just screaming in this black. Like disappearing into the void, maybe like over. I don't know. They could, and then you see like Sauron, like climbing out of wreckage or a battle or something, and that like being an open, being like, what the? And maybe you have Morpheth, Clark narrating as Galadriel. That would be a great tie-in to the films, right? Like, here we go again. It's Galadriel. It's a different actress, but she's telling us again. She was here. She's our common thread. Because we talked about that too. Sauron is a common thread. Galadriel and Elrond, and this is like Elrond's coming of age, right? He's with what's his face?
Círdan.
Gil-galad. That's right. He's kind of like a mentor to him and like a father type figure, and you could see that But anyway, those are common threads. People that we know, people we're familiar with, characters that we love.
They tie us through. Yeah.
I think. Do you think someone is cast right now as Glorfindel?
I'm telling you that.
Okay, so I'm fuzzy. When does he come into the Second Age?
So he comes in. I just want to pull it up just for confirmation. So he comes in. Let's see, around 1500. The rings of power are forged.
Okay.
Sauron departs. Let's see. The 3 rings are forged. The 1 ring is forged in 1600. Barad-dûr completed. Sauron openly proclaims himself, and at that time, once he's openly proclaimed,
big reveal.
Glorfindel and others are sent to come to Middle-earth.
Come on.
So why the fudge wouldn't you? Let's go. I mean, people on this podcast know, listeners, you guys know this. I'm a huge Glorfindel. I mean, let's do it. Let's bring them in. I just think I don't know how you jump around in time or what story you do. Who do you follow so it seems cohesive and you see the passing of time through
and
kings?
This is terrible too. Like I'm totally blanking. Who's the dude who makes the rings? That Sauron tricks into making the Oh, jeez.
What is
his name?
Gosh,
People are switching off right now.
I know.
They're switching
Terrible.
off right now. He's in Shadow of War, the video game too.
Yeah.
I can hear his.
That's a good game.
Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, I didn't look it up either. I remember.
Good
job.
Celebrimbor. He's another one that will. Dude, I think honestly, because I know Joseph Maul. Everyone thinks he's going to be Sauron because he's a fallen hero. But I think a fallen hero who becomes a villain, you could almost kind of say is Celebrimbor. I wonder if he is Celebrimbor. I don't know. It's just cool to think about like who's going to play who because we don't even know yet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. Can I ask? Do we know for sure if anybody has been casted for a specific role
We
yet?
know Morpeth Clark is Galadriel.
Okay.
And then we have like several others who are character names, but we don't. They're like so far anyway. They could be, fake pseudonyms.
Right.
I think the guy who played young Ned Stark,
Mm-hmm.
Robert Ameo. I can't remember his last name. Is playing Baldur.
Okay.
But that's a invented character name. So
Right.
other than Galadriel, they're all
Okay.
invented like characters or just really vague descriptions of who's playing what.
Some of those castings there.
Yeah.
And you click
And then
on-
there's a whole second. There was a second wave of actors and
yeah.
actresses who, some of them are like, what's his name? I can't remember.
like we tried to figure out who this guy might be.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah,
I think he's Elrond. I
Yeah.
think he's going to be Elrond.
So
He looks very elvish.
He does.
Daniel Wayman.
Daniel Wayman. That's
yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
So people are making kind of like, who do we think this is going to be?
Yeah.
Who do they look like? All
No
that kind
idea.
of stuff.
No idea.
Some of them are, we just don't know.
But I believe Morpeth is the only one who's been confirmed for one that we know. So she's she's playing Galadriel. I've sort of passed beyond like worrying about like what they're gonna do, and I'm just starting to get excited as a fan again because there's so much that I don't know about. The Second Age, and I'm excited to discover it through this show. It'll be like in a way, it'll be like a 20-year delay of that excitement and rush I felt as a 13-year-old watching.
Yeah,
Fellowship of the Ring.
Going into those movies, I never heard of
No,
Lord of the
I
Rings.
didn't know
I experienced
what it
these things from
Yep.
scratch,
Yep.
and there's kind of an excitement in this show now, not knowing exactly what they're going to do.
I don't know. It's another like form of nostalgia. I think that is it's pleasing. I love it. I do have, because we talked about this last week. And this has sort of hit me. I forgot what year it was. And we were talking earlier. It's been 20 years this December.
Yeah.
December 19th, 20 years since the release of The Fellowship of the Ring. And we were talking last week about, like, when's the show going to come out? Because season 1 is, I think we figured out end of the summer will be done.
Yeah.
I think we are going to get a 20th anniversary release. Not release, but like coinciding with that very first 20 years ago voyage into Middle-earth. I think we're going to get the show like December.
How cool would
Christmas
that be?
time.
Bold.
I think that's what's happening.
Big moves. Big moves.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Like what a way to end this weird like 2 years we've had with, hey, let's get back to Middle-earth. Here you go. We've kept it, like you said, you could almost have that tagline. We kept it secret. We kept it safe. Next month, here it is. We're going back to Middle-earth.
They don't need to do any massive. They know
They
this.
don't. They don't need a trailer.
No.
They don't need any. Like they haven't had to do anything. How
This
much buzz?
is
All this
Lord of the
conversation.
Rings.
Yeah, all this conversation is what's going on down there. Like nobody knows. Nobody knows. People profess to know, but they're grabbing at straws too because they don't, or grasping at straws because they don't know. And I love that. I love that. One of the positives from the pandemic is they've been isolated and cut off and doing their thing, and Kiwis don't bother them because they're short poppies. They're not impressed. Like it's cool.
It's normal.
We're glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Carry about your business.
Yeah.
It's great.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was this. I'm hopeful. I hope like that would be the best thing ever. I would
It's
love
like the
it.
perfect time to release it.
There's a spirit. There's something
Yeah,
around that
I
time.
think-
We all remember what that was like going during that time of year to watch those. It was just fantastic. So, yeah, why not?
Would you like weekly releases or do you want to dump?
See, I kind of like how
The
Star
Mandalorian.
Wars and Marvel have been doing their weekly releases.
Me too.
It gives you a week to just like kind of think about it. The episode that you just
Rewatch
watch,
it,
kind of
yeah.
speculate, kind of
Look forward
kind of think
to
about
the
what's going to
next one.
happen next
Yeah.
instead of just binge watching the
Yeah.
whole thing. I really like the weekly releases.
It's more of like well, obviously, is where that term comes from, but it's more of a season as opposed to an event.
Right.
Like, I don't remember many details from Stranger Things
Yeah,
because they're released.
You watch it once.
You watch them in a couple days, and then it's such a heavy thing that you don't watch it for weeks later. And there's several shows that I could name that have been released like that I've experienced that way.
Right.
And I think almost to sort of pace us as an audience, I would like them to do weekly. I don't know if they will, but
So
yeah.
is it confirmed that it's coming out in 2021?
No, I don't think so.
A lot of Twitter accounts and a lot of
Are
different
saying it
like
is.
Tolkien, they're basically saying that like here are the things that are coming out. Like, this is,
okay.
Maybe this is just them hoping. I mean, this is
The
also
one clickbait.net, are they in on this action?
Yeah, I think people are just like the prediction of all the 4K editions,
Okay, I
the
didn't know
mobile
that.
game.
Yeah.
It's total speculation. That's why I say that, because I think it's just they're willing it to be. You know what I mean? Like they're trying
Yeah.
to manifest it or
They're
whatever.
putting pressure on Jeff
yeah,
Bezos.
yeah, get this out.
Come on, Jeff. We know you're a fan.
The thing
Don't
is,
you remember Christmas time 20 years ago?
They can do whatever they like. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever they want. I mean, he just bought MGM for crying out loud.
Yeah, and it needs to be good too. They cannot.
No, I can't rush
They
it.
can't
I mean, that's-
fumble this.
No,
There's no reason that, like,
season
this is
one
silly.
has to get us all.
It's silly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has such. The Lord of the Rings films. There's so much to live up to. I mean, it's.
Yes, there is.
Sorry, there's a lot to live up to
Yes,
there.
there is. Yep.
So bring it. You better bring it. Yeah.
I mean, the one cool thing is
They will.
Yeah,
They will.
yeah,
I believe they
I
will.
believe so too. You watch their social media, all the actors and actresses involved look like they're having a great time.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
forging these friendships that are akin to what we saw in the films, and it translates. That totally translates. Everyone who worked on those films were like. I mean, I still remember in the appendices that portion where John Rhys Davies, who's old veteran, right? You've met him, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, I remember him as Sala in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in films forever.
Yep.
And he's like saying his goodbye thing. He gets like his last prosthetic mask and he throws it in the fire, and then he's giving this speech, and he was like, getting emotional. Been around all these different films, and he was like, the way, we've treated each other, the way that we've gotten to know each other. He's like, you don't get it in LA. You don't get it in Hollywood.
Let's
Like
go.
coming to tears. And I'm just like, there is something special about when these projects go down there and
They're away from everyone, right?
yeah,
And
they're on the
kinda-
other side of
yeah.
the world, isolated.
Yeah.
It's different. They're more connected to nature because you're surrounded. You can't go to New Zealand and not feel connected to nature. And so it seems like that part of the magic is taking place, and that I think for us, if nothing else, that'll translate and just be something that'll be worth experiencing. Yeah.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, lots to look forward to. I can't wait to watch it with Mike and
Yeah,
have
for
Kurt
sure.
Jones over, and just whoever.
Definitely.
And we're just even having conversations about it. Where's it going? Thinking of because we'll also have the spaces between the pillars, right? The openings where they'll have creative flexibility and be able to react to that and talk about that and think like, wow,
yeah.
it was incredible. How did they come up with this? Or
Mm-hmm.
what are they going to do to fill this gap? Or, what's going to happen to this created character?
I guarantee you, all of that, there's going to be some behind the scenes thing where they talk
Yeah.
about the inspirations behind it.
Yeah.
Because people,
Yeah.
it's inspired by it. Whatever, regardless,
Yeah.
they picked the second age because it is full of holes.
I
Tons
think,
of stuff.
I think that may be one of the, because one of my favorite things is just watching the appendices and hearing the behind the scenes and their thought process as filmmakers and writers and creative team. Like to hear, I can't wait to hear Payne and McKay talk about it,
Yeah.
because that hasn't happened yet. When they were like, there was that whole deal that
They're still
that
in the
news
writers'
story
room, guarded.
where when they were developing the story in earnest, they were in a guarded room. Like a guarded room that was security people on the outside and like a locked door and no way for people to see hear what was going on. And like it'll be cool to hear their voices, like what I don't know what inspired them, what they were thinking, stuff like that. So In other corners of Middle-earth, we do have a little bit to talk about. You know, it's the same old. The old stead buys. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Go check out Dr. Bean Coffee Company. As always, it's the best coffee around. You can get the Up Blend or, you know, any of their other beautiful roasts and blends. They're all great coffee. Go to drbeancoffeecompany.com. Get your very own Java. It's delicious. And just a huge shout out to Charlotte Hinton. She's an amazing human being. She sends us coffee every month. And always writes a little handwritten note in there and just says, "Love you guys. Hope you're doing well, and we love you, Charlotte. We thank you." I mean, sometimes I just sit back and I'm like, this podcast logo, is on a bag of coffee.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Sometimes I can't wrap my head around it. I'm like, it's nuts. Like I never ever thought.
Yep.
And so it's just every time it's an honor, Charlotte. Just so you know,
So
every
kind.
time.
Yep.
We are burning. I thought it was fitting. We're burning Fairy Light Fables, Merfolk Maiden.
Yeah.
It's the Fairy Light Fables. What did I say?
You said fairy.
What did I say?
Firelight.
Firelight?
But I thought that looked kind of like a fairy-ish candle, but it's the merfolk.
Casey, I'm sorry. Firelight Fables. I do know the name of your candle company. I'm just on a high right now. I don't know what's going on. It's the Merfolk.
It's the merfolk.
I can't even say the
Wow.
word.
Getting to you.
It's
I can't. I feel like I'm drowning and smog's blowing fire, and I can't go up.
Wow.
I'm gonna die. I'm either gonna drown, fire, and water. How do you choose your death? I
The
don't know.
last time Mike saw a drowning like this, it was me out there
You sweat.
in the studio.
Drowning in your sweat.
Out there trying
That's
to,
true.
wrap my head around
Retiring.
That's true.
That's true. Wow. Anyway, go. I thought it was fitting for today. You know, we're by water. Some merfolk would have come in handy, I think, for the Lake Townians. Even though it turned out okay for them.
Sure.
Amazing candles. The new mythical creatures line is incredible. We've worked through the Golden Drake, the Phoenix, and then we're in Merfolk. We're burning the Merfolk Maiden right now.
Wow.
I feel bad saying we're burning a Maiden, but we are. Wow. And the really cool thing, the promo code that you can use is Fire It Up. One word, you get 10% off of your order. She also has great accessories too. She's like got candle wick trimmers. She even has like little bottles of matches. Everything is packaged beautifully too. I mean, like you receive it and it's not just a package, it's a present. It feels like you open it, there's layers, there's cards in there, facts about her candles, all natural, apricot wax, coconut wax, all that jazz.
Yeah, I'm feeling like, Mike, maybe this is, I need to get Kelly some of these, right? We might need to, right?
I think we're going to have to do that.
Because all we have at home are Christmas candles, so yeah.
Yeah, let's upgrade Kelly.
Can you
Let's
believe a Christmas
upgrade
candle,
her.
though? There,
Yeah.
oh, man. The Christmas tree scent is like the best. It's the best. I have talked to Casey. I was like, if you ever wanted to make a signature candle for the podcast, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Midnight wax. Burning the midnight wax.
Okay.
Because usually we're up late.
Yeah. What does that smell
Burning
like?
candles. I don't know.
That'll be interesting. Yeah.
I like
It's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there. Also, go check out Isaac, the Lord of Maps, Lord_of Maps. He does maps in the style of Middle-earth. He's actually, this is really cool. Just saw this. He's done with all 50 states.
Let's go.
Now you can get your state, no matter what state you live in. He's also going through different countries. I think he's on the British Isles. I won't even say like he's working on Africa. He's going through all the continents. It's crazy.
That's
man.
awesome.
That's
actually awesome.
He's
It's
a
really
man
cool.
on fire. He's got shirts. He's got stickers. He's got all kinds of stuff. It's fantastic. Ez and I, if you follow our social media, you saw us out there at Clear Creek with Cam Hansen himself. We finally met him in the flesh. We did scouting for the Firelight Fables commercial that we're going to be shooting and in just a week's time, actually next Friday.
Yes.
We're going out there to film stuff at Clear Creek. We had a great time. We did not run into Sasquatch, thankfully. But we got
thankful about that. I've wanted to,
You know the really creepy thing was he said he and his girlfriend were out there. They heard something too, and got a little spooked out and turned back. They didn't finish their hike.
Wow.
And it was in the same as we were hiking on this trail. He was like, "It was right down there." I said, "Are you kidding me?"
Same spot.
That's where Sarah and I heard something. So anyway,
Something's got to be down there.
it's a haunted valley.
Something's up.
It's a haunted valley. So hopefully we come back from that. We'll see. But yeah, it's gonna be gold.
He's professional.
He is.
We were
man.
talking about the confidence last
Yes.
week. That man's got some confidence.
Yes, he does.
I have never seen somebody speak so boldly about filming something and just having it done. And I mean,
I work fast.
Oh man, he
Quote,
actually got me fired up.
I work fast.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing thing. He opened his shirt up. Well, not his shirt.
Whoa.
Hello.
Yeah.
Opened his coat up and had a shirt on. And on that shirt, I saw a logo. I'm like, hang on a minute. I feel like we just talked about this. When Charlotte Bronstrom had been announced, she had some sort of, I think, a hat that said Ari on it, ARRI.
Right.
And I thought it was a rental company. And it is a rental company, but it's for camera gear.
Like high
He was like,
end.
I've rented from them before. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like a rental car or something, like, down in New Zealand. He's like, no, this is for camera equipment.
Yep.
He was like, they have the best of the best. So that's what she was wearing, a hat from the. No way.
Very cool.
I was like, wow. So
That was
I was half right. But yeah, it's gonna be an amazing time. We're just excited to get out there and he's gonna make us look great, better than we are.
Oh, my
so
gosh,
we're excited about that. That'll be cool. And then actually next week we've got a really exciting thing. We've got our buddy Jake Hodgson, aka Warhammer Time.
Yep.
If you remember way back, Jake hand painted
In the
little
beginning.
miniatures of Aragorn, and I believe, did he send you a Gandalf as well? Yeah.
He sent it to us.
I still have mine.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
We're gonna put him in the studio when the studio's done. He is gonna be joining us for an episode. He and his good friend Arthur, who I think might be a king. I don't know.
Yeah. Descendant. Yeah.
They are British lads who are coming on here, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be such a good time. So they picked chapter 15 to come on and join us. So we're looking forward to that. It's gonna be incredible. Back to back to back.
Yeah.
Three-peat.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Can we do that? Can we?
Are we the Bulls? I don't know.
I
I'm no Jordan.
Did you really set this up though? Have you been setting this up for that many episodes? That's
Can you
insane.
imagine?
Like
That'd
he
be way
makes
too
a
much
Bulls
work.
reference and he's like, "Watch this. I'm gonna follow it up with a
That'd
three."
be way too much work.
Wow.
Part of the reason I'm talking so much tonight too is I'm exhausted.
Come on.
All right.
Hey,
But so I went to Circleville twice today.
Yeah.
Once to pick up lunch for the girls and my brother-in-law, and then second time to go get stuff for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know what it's been ever since we've been doing clickless because of the pandemic. Like I have enjoyed going to the store and grocery shopping. I don't know what's happening.
Like going in the store?
Going in the store and just like, I wonder what's down this aisle. What kind of hot sauces are there? I don't know what's going on. I'm becoming a dad.
I
Like
get
a
it.
full-fledged
It's weird.
father. Yeah. Like dad stuff. I'm doing dad stuff.
The thing for us, because I live in Pataskala,
Yeah.
last year, or maybe just before the pandemic hit, they completely redid everything in the store.
So you were just learning it too, weren't you?
I'm still going in there and lost, and I have no idea where anything's at.
I'm starting to embrace the lost. Are you? I'm starting to embrace it a little bit. I'm like, well, you know what? I'll find it.
No.
I just started realizing you can use those signs above the aisles.
Yeah.
That's like a recent thing for me. I used to be like, I don't know where this stuff is. I would look down each aisle and go, is there like pasta down here? And Sarah was like, Lane, there are signs above each aisle saying what's in that aisle. I was like, holy crap, my life's changed.
Guys,
my life's changed.
This is a point where Lane says things to make me feel better about all the things that I don't know about.
It's just
I
like I
was
just
trained-
learned that today.
Well, no. I was
that.
I was trained as a young lad.
Oh, okay.
Where the bread aisle
You're
was.
a youngling, huh?
We went in. We
You were
spread-
foundling
my
or a
mom-
youngling?
Well, mom was very trusting of the people in Big Bear where we shopped.
Big
I remember Big Bear.
Sit me
Those
down.
were the best donuts in Mount Vernon.
yeah.
100%.
Yep.
And they had
So-
those little kid cards. Do you remember the kid
Oh
cards?
yeah, we had cake. Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
Wild.
So that's something you knew long before me. Anyway, I don't even know. I wasn't planning on going down the magazine aisle, but nostalgia must have drawn me there.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, this is actually has to do with in other corners of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
There's a special time edition. I think it's a 20th year anniversary that's
Very
out.
cool.
And I was like, who would appreciate this? I wish I would have known about it last week to get Kurt one as well.
Yeah.
But I knew Mike Charles would appreciate this.
Oh.
I knew my buddy Ezra Kirk. I know you're downsizing, but I know you love stuff like this for your shelf.
I do love this.
I did page through it. It goes from the beginnings of The Hobbit not being an instant hit all the way to the very end. The back of this magazine is about the show.
Seriously.
Yeah. So for the first time, it's kind of a
Tolkien movie in there too.
Tolkien. Yes, that's right. Duh. Yeah. So for the first time, it's a comprehensive, like, at least snippets and organization of everything that we've talked about so far. It's pretty
This is
cool.
awesome.
It's pretty cool. So anyway, got that for
two
you. And then
prizes.
also,
Thank you.
I was joking earlier. Mike Charles commented on this picture behind me, which you can't see, but it's Mount Sunday. He talks about how badly he wants to go there someday. So until you get there yourself, here is a stone
Lame.
from the river. There are these really distinct red stones that fill the braided riverbeds. You reach in, you get a handful of river stones, and it's full of that real distinct red rock. That's yours, my friend.
My own piece of Middle Earth.
That's right.
You're too
That
kind.
is from Edoras, my
Thank
friend.
you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being
It's
here.
my favorite place too. In the movies.
Dude, I can't wait for you to go there.
I can't wait.
It is, like I told you, other than Amanda, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
it is my favorite place in the world that I've been to. Mount Sunday in New Zealand. You got to work to get there. Even though you know for sure, you triple check that you're going to the right place. You followed the guidebooks. You still think, gosh, am I on the right road? And then you crest that hill when you're thinking about turning back, and you see it down in the valley, and you go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like a cell from an old, film reel come to life.
Yeah.
There it is right before you, and it's breathtaking. It's an amazing thing. So every fan should experience being able to go there. And I told you it's different from Hobbiton. Hobbiton is its own kind of magic because it feels like you're transported to, like, it's this weird mixture of modern day people in where hobbits should be running around.
Right.
And you feel like you're in a movie. But I think Mount Sunday makes you feel like you're in the story. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
for
does.
sure. A little bit.
That was
So,
well said.
Cool. Yeah.
I got chills thinking about that.
That's the
actually
best
sick,
way you
'cause
can put it.
yeah,
I think
it does. It's magic.
Yeah.
It's magic. So
I've
Yeah.
always
Thank
like
you so
when
much.
you talk about
yeah, of
that.
course, dude. Of course.
Yeah, it's always great to hear people tell their stories about going there because it just seems like, I don't know, such a magical place.
Yeah.
Which is why I think you so empathize with the actors and the crew and everyone who's there. Like, you get like the magic,
Yeah.
a little bit. So
Yeah, they're
I love it.
definitely. I'm sure caught up in all that
Yeah.
wonderment.
Yeah.
Into the reread, fellas.
Into the reread. And
Into the reread.
I'm sorry, guys. I does anybody have a book I can use today?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it-
Actually, I brought an extra one here.
Did you bring a book?
I did.
Yeah.
I
Is
did.
Is this staged?
Did you? Did we message each other beforehand? And I say, hey, Mike, I need you to bring me a book because I totally forgot.
It all worked.
Yeah.
It worked out.
What do you got there? You got a couple
No,
special
actually,
books.
yes. So my wife was
This is epic.
at the end of the school year, obviously, and they were cleaning some things out, and they went through their little library that they have there, and she FaceTimed me with this old Hobbit book, and she says, "Hey, do you want this?" And
What a
I'm-
beautiful wife, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
What a
She,
great
she holds it
partner.
up. She's like, "Do you want it?" I'm just like, "Nah, just throw it away. Nobody." Yes, I want that. Please bring this home.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Please bring this home. But yeah, it's definitely been through a lot. Some of the pages are kind of folded. The front cover has a makeshift cover, just like a red piece of paper. Somebody hand wrote Hobbit on it. But the rest of it's still intact, and I'm pretty sure it's a 1973 paperback copy, which that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely older. This is my 4th or 5th copy, I think, of The Hobbit. So I was like, I'll just add it on the shelf.
I'm thinking something strange here. Now could this be? I'm making ties. Could this be
I was gonna make ties.
that book that you read in middle school?
Well, you know what I was about to say? This book was rescued from a school the same way I've been recently. So me and this, I don't know. I feel drawn.
But you remember
that drawn? Yes, I do.
The book
I
you
do.
read, you went back to find
Yeah.
it, and it was you wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll name your price. I'm going to buy this book because it was the first time I read The Hobbit, and it was nowhere to be found.
Yes. Do you know what though?
Different edition though.
Yeah, and I
You
was
know?
thinking
Okay.
it was a hardback,
Hardback.
and it was.
I was trying to be romantic.
No,
and think
no.
It was the actual
I know
book.
though. And I actually
Not to be.
have like this is great. Like I like seeing something like this. Look how weathered that is.
It's
Look
seen action.
how many people have read.
I mean,
this.
that looks like a thrush got in there and started
thrush
making a nest out of the pages.
I mean, that's wild. That is so wild. So I think this is awesome, and I like the idea of kids, in a school picking this up.
How many kids discovered Middle-earth through that book?
Like
right there?
it's wild. I'm actually looking for. Did they have like one of those sign out things or whatever?
The library cards.
Look, it probably wasn't the front cover, and they got torn off.
Man, just talk about probably. Just think of
patched
the
that
kid
on.
probably ripped it off because he was overdue.
Probably.
Yeah,
Can't find me now.
I'm keeping this.
Can't find me or find me.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's fitting. That's fitting. So I wanted to start with something. This this chapter.
A song?
Not a song.
All right.
No, we are well past the heart of worship. We are not worshiping Smaug.
We'll come back to that later.
Yeah, we'll come back to that later. So we said there's not like a lot like this. I don't know. I wasn't. Again, I'm not. You asked me earlier. Do we talk about the movies? Do we talk about their interpretation of The Hobbit?
Yeah.
I would say out the gate. I'm gonna toss this to you, Mike. The way they interpret this chapter, 10 times better in the movies. I think it's better. I like it.
Ooh, okay.
I do. I know.
Think the opposite.
I knew you
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
So I know that's going to be controversial and people aren't going to like it. But for me, more Bard, more setup to this. It just, now we do get more.
It feels like
Bard
there's more on the.
throughout.
Yes, I'm
Later
sorry.
on, yeah.
Not to. It does feel like there's more on the line in the films.
Yeah.
For Bard.
Yes.
I mean, he uses his son.
He's
as
almost dead. Yeah.
His bow.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did put it's interesting you brought that up, Mike. I do have images from the film and from inspired by the book in here. So
So what do you think, Mike? I mean, like, do you like the way just that the film interprets some of this, or like, because it's short. I mean, it's only half of the chapter. By the way, it's not even the whole chapter. It's just half of the chapter of the takedown of Smaug. He's been out there doing. I mean, you can fill in the gaps here a little bit and imagine he's been rolling around Terran. Some time has gone by when we start this before we see the golden glow come on the lake. It's not gold, friends. Gold.
Yeah,
gold.
right.
Yeah.
The Dwarven King is back. Look, his rivers run gold.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah.
Well, I will say, in the movie, Smaug is probably my favorite thing about the whole trilogy.
Amazing, isn't right? Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch playing Smaug. Come on.
Yeah.
And I mean, every scene he's in, it's just he steals the show.
And his
in the movies.
his voice. Barrow Rider. I mean, it's like you can't even.
Yeah. And I mean, have you guys like watched like his videos of him doing the choreography and talking and doing
distorting
his voice?
his body?
Oh my gosh!
He insisted on
just
doing,
going like Andy Serkis on it.
Yeah,
and it's
and he was
so cool.
like he was insistent on doing it that way. He's like, I want to do mocap. He went and studied reptiles at like the London Zoo or whatever. He was.
And like I'm pretty sure they told him at one point, it's like you don't have to do all this.
We might
just
not
need
even
your
use
voice,
all of it.
really.
Yeah. And
But he still did it just to like. But I say that to say they definitely added some drama in the movie that's not in the book for this part. With Bard and his son and the way he was brought down and but
yeah.
I'm with you, Az. I liked it.
You liked
I really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I know it's this is the very beginning of Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah.
This scene is just the very beginning, right off the bat.
It's like the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, to back up even just a little bit, like I thought the Desolation of Smaug and the stuff that they did prior to the third movie was also like you like Smaug, so you got to like that second movie. There's a lot more goes down between Smaug and the dwarves.
Yeah,
and you're like, this didn't happen. Like what?
Right. Yeah, with them like forging them in gold and him breaking out
all sorts of
relighting the fires of the furnaces. They did battle. And actually, honestly, because I've only read the full confession here. I've only read through The Hobbit one time. So when we were reading last chapter, I was like, wait, when does that happen? I was kind of foggy because I didn't read ahead. You know what I mean? I was like, wait a minute. Where is Smaug right now? And then it was like he opens this chapter. We were talking about how he does this. It just like he makes the simplest. Like he just opens by saying, "You're probably wondering what happened to Smaug."
That's right.
Well, we have to go back a couple days to the time where he closed them up they had to shut the door and
2 days before,
and that's when when this all went down it's such a simple way of stating it, of jumping time, but you're like, wow, okay. He does it so masterfully. Like something that shouldn't work, you're like, all right, let's jump back. Just like that, just because he's such a storyteller.
Right.
So I did also like that, you know, talking about the films just for another second there, I think the one thing that it did the same as the book is it didn't make this like a huge deal. Like it was a big deal, but it was not most of the movie.
No,
it wasn't the climax of the movie.
Right.
Nope.
And also that, so I have like two major takeaways from this chapter, or cool connections or whatever. The first one is that like the hero is the pessimist, right? I love that. I love that. You know, Bard is this guy who's saying the fish are poisoned and that there's gonna be floods, and all right, yeah, whatever. And he ended up being right.
Yeah.
Right. He was the one who was skeptical. But you know, it didn't always pan out, but this time it did. This time he was right. He was always on guard and on watch. And a lot of times we see those people and we're like, they're just always negative.
Yeah.
But they're looking out for something. Like there's something genetic in them that is going, this might go bad.
Yeah. I mean,
you can never be disappointed that way either. Like if you
right.
you know, hope for the best, expect the worst, you're never disappointed. And then another thing I love that he did here is, which we've been seeing with the dwarves, right? Like, he takes a fantastical, mythical creature and makes them human. Like if you don't, dwarves are great if you don't expect too much of them.
Yeah.
You know, some are really bad, some are really good, but most of them are just like you and me.
Yep.
Like before reading this book, dwarves you would not think of dwarves that way, elves that way, dragons that way, any of that stuff. And in the same way that he humanizes dwarves, he takes something that a conflict with the dragon, most of the time, right? In a big epic or a saga, that is the climax.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story.
Yep.
It's either the hero dies, the dragon dies, or they both die.
Yeah.
And here, it's what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
It's not that confrontation. It's like what we're getting towards is the greed or the reparations or whatever that happens afterwards. That is the climax of the story. It leads to a war or a battle anyway.
Yeah.
And that is something that is like a human thing. You could see that happening in real life, but not necessarily to this point in like an epic mythic story. And dude, it's crazy. Like he takes what's expected, twists a little bit, puts some humanity in it, and you're like, this is why it's so great.
He takes what's expected and he does the unexpected. Seriously. I mean, it is unexpected that in half a chapter that Bard takes down Smaug. And the reason I've said 2 to 3 episodes in a row, like the reason I've been driving this home is that I totally forgot like Tolkien's love of, just for a second.
Dragons.
Creatures. Because the thrush is and I'm like,
I was going to bring something up about that.
It's like, wait a second. The only reason... is the thrush.
Yeah, that's true.
And pointing out the underbelly and overhearing things in creatures, nature kind of winning this in a sense,
And like not a great, majestic, massive bird. A little tiny thrush.
Yes.
And,
unexpected, underdog.
Very simple.
Tolkien's way of using just animals. And even in Lord of the Rings and even in this, it's just...
Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's awesome. And so I think that's what was kind of cool, and that's why it's almost like a little bit you get why it's beautiful the way it's written, and I understand totally like it's cool, but like there's so much more in the film that almost feels a little bit more real. But the magical pieces, it was a bird, it was a thrush, even though they still did it in the film. They he still flutters in, what have you. But and I actually, here's another point, the arrow that he pulls, just going right to it. Where do you get that arrow from? It's a dwarf. That's from the Lonely Mountain, right? It says it was forged. I was like, wait a second, where did he get them? Again, he was closer. He's descended from
Girion.
Yes, and so like that arrow is the black arrow, right? And it just, I don't know.
The mountain ends up killing him.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
It's kind of irony, right?
Yeah,
it's just like, wait a second, this was forged there.
Yeah,
and it was he's like Bard is speaking to the arrow. So just a couple things that I thought out front were kind of cool in the first half of this.
And how that's almost kind of like a snippet of Anduril, right? Or like these great swords.
Yeah.
Gurthang in Children of Húrin, Gortang, however you say that.
Yeah.
That like you talk to these inanimate objects, which even a further step than animals, right? Like a sword or but how that is also very like old saga stuff. Like my sword is I'm gonna name it. It has a personality. It's gonna feel lust and joy from drawing blood.
Yeah.
That's like that. Yeah, the fact that he took the time to have, and also the irony too, like a bird is talking to him and he understands it, and then he is talking to an arrow.
Yes. Telling it to fly true,
and it's flying. Man.
Yeah, and it's
so cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really neat. Now, right here in the beginning, and we'll kind of try to bounce. There's not a lot, so I'll kind of bounce from paragraph to paragraph. You guys stop me if you got more. But I thought I'd mention that the grim voice. First of all, we don't even mention Bard. It's just a grim voice.
Yeah.
That's who we hear first, and we're like, really?
It's great.
Then it turns into be this epic dude.
Is that Alfred from the movies?
Yeah. The grim voice is the first person that we know, that I know of, that mentions the Witch King. Did you notice that?
Whoa, what?
Yeah, he mentions the Witch King. He says, perhaps the king under the mountain is forging gold, said another. It is long since he went north. It is time the songs begin to prove themselves again.
Oh, gosh.
Witch King. Witch King said...
I think that's another T-shirt idea.
Sorry. Witch King, said another with a grim voice.
That's another T-shirt.
I was like, seriously, Tolkien... Bard called, like, he knows. Sorry,
he knows all about him.
It's like, wait, what? The Witch King?
That's hysterical.
No. Witch
You
King.
got me. I was like, wait a minute. We're King of the North?
Yeah,
is that what he's going with?
That too.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
that's cool, man.
I know, right? I don't, guys. I've learned from the best over here, Mr. Funny himself. So I mean, every once in a while,
I would not come up with that one. That's genius.
But you're right. Lane pointed out something to me, and I forgot about this. They either cut the bridge or they light the bridge on fire, because Smaug goes for that bridge to try to cut them, thinking they're going to be running across that to safety or whatever. Really, the safest place is the water town, the lake town that they've built. You know what I mean? They can just jump in.
Yep.
And by the way, don't anyone let me forget to bring up the
Lake Town lifeguards.
Lake Town lifeguards.
Hottest bodies around.
Hottest bodies around all over. That's terrible. But anyway, there wasn't a great loss of life, just so we're clear. They say that.
There was afterwards, though, which I thought it was interesting that he kind of, that he talked about. I was like, that's cool that Tolkien took time to go, like, it was cold and they didn't have, I mean, I'm jumping way ahead. Didn't have shelter, and a lot of them had been in the water and they were old.
Yes,
amongst them and children.
That's real, though.
They died. Yeah.
And
again, taking something that is human and putting it into a like a fantasy story. I don't think that was done before. I think Tolkien was the first one to really meld those two styles, and maybe initially why it wasn't so popular, like why The Hobbit took a while for people to go, dude, this is a great book. Yeah, because it was so different. This isn't that kind of like ending you would expect from a story like this. In a way. Yeah.
It almost seems like Smaug is that, whether it's World War like World War I, like a bombing of a city, and the people have to evacuate, and it's really the evacuation that where a lot of like starvation or malnutrition or whatever, the elderly who need to be. Felt like that's where maybe he's drawing some of this from. It felt real. Yeah. So, anyways, now what did you think about too the golden glow? I thought that was like really, like, I could see that. I could see a dragon coming, and I could see them looking and hearing rumblings and thinking something's going on over there. The forges are back on, and there's a very beautiful glow. Beautiful glow that's golden coming across, and it's magical. Like, gold is literally flowing from that river, right? The river running, and it's like flowing into the lake. And it's Bard who's running around going like, someone...
because all these people are getting excited. They're thinking that they're getting some gold or.
Yeah.
I mean, a similar experience happened today where you...
Oh,
I mean, we saw these... So I got new compost bins.
Please, yes.
And I didn't... It's a case of not knowing what you're looking at, right? Yeah. Like, what is that? What is that in the distance? Like, we all have had experiences like that. Well, today, one happened to me where stumbled upon like a massive swarm of bees in my new compost barrels.
Yep.
Because I didn't turn them for the last couple of days because it was raining, and I was standing there with him going, what the heck is I felt like dumbstruck. I was like, I don't even know what to do. And thank God, like Ez was thinking clearly, and then Sarah was thinking clearly, and we've hopefully figured it out. But it was a golden glow of with black stripes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what am I looking at? And you imagine them too, and it's just like, I love too that he said, you know, that the people of Lake Town were out strolling, looking at the stars. You know, that it's something that they enjoyed to do. It was a beautiful night. It wasn't abnormal for them to be out. You know, it was clear and cool and a beautiful evening for stargazing. And that because they were out there just checking this out, they see this, like you said, this gold glow. And they're like, what is this?
Yeah, and can I say something that you have to bring this up? You always give shout outs to people who we meet along the way and just the people that come into your life.
We met Beorn.
Beorn showed up. I didn't think he showed up. I think this chapter, I was like, is he in this chapter? Like, what was he doing? You know, he showed up here.
Actually, he does show up in this chapter.
He shows up, yeah.
Because he hears the news.
It's crazy. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Isn't that wild?
It's wild.
You can't make that up.
And he was camouflaged. And it was so funny. We were watching him. So he had his beekeeping suit on, and he came out and checked it out. He's like, yeah, those are honeybees. And at first, he walked right up to him. Yeah. I was like, dude. I was like, he was like, oh, they're not gonna hurt you, no problem. And then he goes out. He has jeans on, with his top and his like his hat. He walked out of view for a second. We were all watching from inside. The girls are watching.
Yeah.
I'm down looking through, like peering through. Ez is looking through, and he disappears. And for a minute, we think he's going to come back as a bear. Like we were entranced.
Watch him come back.
And he's explaining everything about the bees. You know, he's like, now they're just scouting. He said they're actually gorging or feasting on the stuff in your barrel. I was like, wow, just amazing.
When you told me that one bee showed up there and danced so that the others knew, through that dance interpretation.
That's what happens. That's how they communicate.
Bee dance.
Bee dance.
Wow, that could be us. All right, moving on.
Queen bee.
I'm trying too hard. Okay. All right.
I thought it was pretty good. I think you're on fire, honestly.
I'm on fire. So let me get some
Just
water.
don't get any water.
Oh, jeez.
There we go. Ironically, I almost got water on the Zoom today, too. So
Lane was trying to put a non-existent firehouse.
That's ridiculous.
So let's just kind of rip through some of the beginning of this, because it's Bard with the grim voice and the prophecies. You know, prophecies gone wrong. They had all these great prophecies about this, and he's been saying he's more of a realist. He just feels like realistically, there's a dragon. Okay, we should not forget that. It's almost like you're in denial. And actually, this is interesting. It's interesting that Tolkien did this. You think about war, and you think about the times in which he saw the world facing. People were in denial at some points, in different points of the war and what was happening and things like that. And so it's like, no, this is really bad, and this is something that's really happening. And Bard is sort of that voice of reason. But groups of people, you don't want to believe in something bad like that. You know, you don't want to think that, all right, that dragon actually is really just right over there and could show up here and kill us all.
That's a great point.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about like Hitler, right? How many people were in denial of what was going on in Europe, and I mean, I'm sure there are things. I know there are things that we're in denial of now.
Well, what was the movie we watched? They shall never grow old.
Shall not grow old.
They shall not grow old.
The Peter Jackson World War I restoration stuff.
I thought about just the political leaders and stuff. They know what's going on. They're kind of in the know. Your common soldier was just out there like, I don't know. I feel like at some point you maybe would come across a patch of just denial, like this will be over sooner. But it's like even when they first went to battle, it was kind of for glory and all sorts of things.
They're excited.
Like,
they were like we're pumped.
Denying the reality that some of us are going to die. Let's look around, and a lot of us aren't going to make it back. So, anyways, I just feel like Bard is someone who understands that, and it's really it's his line and the destruction of his line and him leaving and becoming, fleeing for safety to Lake Town that I think he recalls a lot of and understands the very real, nature of this dragon. So, So I'm gonna skip down here. Roaring, he swept back over the town. So now here we just kind of get all these mentions of him flying back and forth and rekindling. Fires burning up things. The hissing, he's hissing into the lake. The jewels every time. There's like this, and I don't know if I'm right about this or not, but the way I read it was the fire is glowing. When you light something on fire and he flies over it, those gems glisten and glow, it's like sparkle reflections or whatever. And then later on, it's the thrush that like wait for the moon which will reflect off of the lake and will shine and hit the dragon, and you will see it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second. Thrush got some major tactics on taking down a dragon.
And
Birds
also,
are smart.
they are. They're wise.
Yeah.
And also that the play on like the twinkling of the gems that are like encrusted on it and the stars.
Yeah.
Like if they were out there to look at stars, and now it's like a different type of twinkling that is showing his like strength and his impenetrability or whatever, his strength. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's
and then like the moon, another heavenly body that is very different from sunlight, very different from firelight. Yeah, that has to play off the water. All these elements that he's working together
and in the sky with a flying dragon.
Yeah, and how this again, like this mighty beast, a dragon is the biggest thing that you can fly that flies that can you have to deal with, and this little tiny thrush.
Yeah, it's so wild.
It's
that's what it undoes.
And all that packed into 5 pages,
Right.
Yeah, really compact. Yes.
And in that way, I think it's cool because it does sort of imitate like how that would feel. It would be a rush, not to play on thrush, like a rush of all these different sensations and elements like at one time.
Yeah,
but quickly too.
Yeah,
or seemingly.
Mike, did you feel like when these when all this fire is being just everything's burning? I felt like more people were going to die. I actually kind of forgot about this too. I was like, everyone's dead.
Well, and that's what the film feels like too, doesn't it? The film feel like everyone's just gone, even though they're not.
It's Lake Town, and I always forget that it is Lake Town, and there's it's naturally defended in a sense.
Because he can't get too because there's that fear of smog. He's like, I can't get too close. Can't touch that water. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. So did you feel like there were I don't know, because you feel like there would have been more people killed, or because I was just kind of like, wow, I'm shocked about the end of this that we actually made it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Did you also pick this chapter because you love Bard? Is that part of why?
I do like Bard.
I
think I like more. I think I like Smog better. Yeah.
Really?
I do.
This whole time I was thinking Mike picked this chapter because Bard is his favorite Hobbit character.
He's definitely one of them. He's probably my third. Beorn's probably my second.
And Smog's number one?
Yeah. If I'm being honest.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is actually awesome. Smog is so interesting.
I wonder how many people Smog is their favorite. Or Peter Jackson, as he says, Schmaug.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about, and going back, I don't mean to backtrack, but when you were talking about just like Tolkien doing the unexpected, like in this chapter, Smog's the last dragon, right?
Yeah, as far as
at this point.
Yeah.
And that's how he goes out in 5 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last
you
dragon.
expect something. Yeah. Well, and that's what I yes. In the films too, you expected it. There was something about, I don't know. Maybe because there was so much dialogue in The Desolation of Smog, and it's just action. He doesn't talk that much.
Right.
That it feels like, oh wow, that's it. He's gone. Like there's a void. Once the dragon is slayed, there's this void. It's like, well, what's going to fill it? And that's where that, eventually everyone rushing to get the riches and the battle there.
Yeah.
But it feels like, huh? Like it feels like there's a sense of magic that's gone.
Yep.
Yeah. In a way.
And I don't know, it's something weird because kind of like how you feel for Gollum a little bit when he dies. You kind of feel for him. I felt for Smog when he dies.
I didn't even think about that.
I really did. As terrible of a dragon as he was, selfish of a dragon he was, I did kind of.
It's just a dragon.
Yeah.
But nature. And that's the thing. You think you can't make a dragon.
No.
Yeah.
You can kill one, but you can't make one.
Right.
And that's I always think about that. Like that. There's you're talking about the sanctity of life and the different. Yeah, it's like it's a creature going like a whole line going.
He was. I think he was probably one of the most significant things about the whole Hobbit story because he was Gandalf's fear.
I was just about to bring that up. Let's go. Tell me what you think about Gandalf and his fear.
Where is Gandalf?
Yeah.
I feel like he was worried that he was going to get, or Sauron was going to get to him somehow.
Yep.
And that Sauron, I mean, can you imagine
maybe
if
that he
Sauron,
already had?
Yeah, true.
Maybe.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, no, if he would be able to wield him as a...
Yeah, I think it was more of the gold sickness and the gold greed that, because that, according to Tolkien, that's what gets dragons. But yeah, that was Gandalf's fear, is Sauron using a dragon. Can you imagine?
No.
What the
Battle
world
of
would
Minas
have been
Tirith
like
with a dragon.
Sauron wielding a dragon.
No.
Yeah, it's just
Put the Witch King on top of him.
Witch King.
Witch King.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not joking. I have a T-shirt design ready to go. That is the Got Milk font, and it says Witch King ?
That's awesome. That's awesome, actually. Wow.
But yeah, I mean, and that just kind of adds to what I was saying about Tolkien doing the unexpected. Just like, he's out of the game just like that.
Yeah.
And now it's, the focus shifts. But I don't know. Smaug is such a significant character, I think, and I think that's why he's one of my favorites.
I think that's really cool.
Let me make another connection here. So
That's so cool.
You like dragons, and you brought up Gandalf, and what I was thinking about is Gandalf has been at this for a while. He's like the dragon slayer. It wouldn't surprise me if Gandalf was in the Shire and he took Old Took, and they might have killed a green dragon.
And that's where
They might have killed
the green dragon.
Back in the day,
that's where it came from.
They might have. Gandalf might have been playing at this for a while. I just think it's interesting. You wonder. I don't know if there's maybe someone can tell me if there's some inspiration behind. They reference dragons. That the little references. There has been a dragon in these parts for. Well, Gandalf used to be in those parts.
100 years.
Yeah, walking around. So is he trying? What if you got a? What
does he mean by these parts? Does he mean the greater world of Middle-earth? Is he referencing?
I think he means these parts. I think he means the Shire because that's what they know. The hobbits know this region.
And I guess 100 years would predate him going to see Smaug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
so I just
dude.
think it's
Fan
kind
theory.
of cool.
Yeah.
Fan theory. But I thought, why not? Because his quest was that there was a great fear of these worms, these dragons, being taken back under. They're a great weapon, a great tool if you could harness them. And he uses hobbits to slay them. Let's go, like Gandalf, you dog.
And I think Gandalf, at least in the movies, used Thorin reclaiming his birthright like as a means to an end to rid the world of Smaug.
Yeah, and now let me ask you another question. What is Gandalf's? I don't think Gandalf thought that they could defeat.
You're just looking for any excuse to talk about it.
I love to talk about Gandalf. I'm so glad Mike brought Gandalf.
I got you.
Talk about him every time, anytime you want.
I appreciate it. But I think to myself, like, what was he doing, Lane? Was he just trying to push everybody out of? Was he just trying to send them there to push Smaug out of his lair and hoping that the dwarf, like other dwarf nations, would come to Thorin's claim or cause because he knows they can't kill or slay this dragon. I mean, like that's like I think he wanted his
knowledge
routed.
of. What do you think his knowledge of Bard was? I guess I'm going to ask another question too. I'm going to answer your question with a question. We talk about how people, when they initially read Lord of the Rings, they expected Tom Bombadil would come back at some point and like do battle with the forces of good. Do you think people were reading The Hobbit for the first time and expecting Gandalf to just show up?
Yes, I think they do. I think they were.
At this point, you think that they thought he was going to come in gunslinger style, hero shot, and deal with like the dragon? Because this was something that he brought to fruition, the company and everything. Of course, he's gonna. Where is he? We're all, as you're reading, you're like, where'd Gandalf? Why'd he leave? Where he came back in the nick of time with the trolls.
Yeah.
With the Goblin King.
Yep.
This would be another time for him to come through and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you think people thought that, or I wonder, or no?
Can I tell you my fan theory?
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
I think Gandalf was planning on killing Smaug.
Seriously,
I do, because he was in the quest from the start.
Yep.
He wanted, and I think he needed the dwarves, and I think this is just Gandalf's cunning.
Whoa.
He needed the dwarves,
right,
to get into the mountain, because Thorin had the map, right?
Right.
And I think Gandalf would have seen it through to the end had he not got sidetracked in Dol Guldur.
So almost as if, in his mind, Smaug was his great opponent instead of what would become the Balrog. Do you think he was? Do you think he was always looking for that great? Or no? Do you think it was like when he came to it, he would have to deal with his great task, right? Because the Balrog was one of his great like he had to overcome that to become
absolutely
Gandalf the White in a sense, in a simplistic, in a Lane Smith term, right? In the explanation.
Yes.
Do you think he was looking for that, or do you think he was just like, when it happens, it'll happen, and I'll know it?
I can't remember.
Like, was he planning on killing Smaug, or wanting to play into your theory, so that he could level up in a sense? Was that his great challenge? Yeah,
I can't remember. In these last couple of chapters, there is, when he has a conversation with Bilbo, he does reveal something. I can't remember what it is that he reveals, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if that.
He didn't take his cloak off, did he? I mean,
whoa, no, not that kind of reveal.
Gandalf reveals a lot. Also, is this for show?
It's for show now. It's dead.
You told people
it's totally died. I'm now using my phone.
I want people to watch the video because you have your phone in front of your laptop.
Yeah, just to be clear here. But what I think, guys, as we're talking about, as we're talking about Gandalf, I really do think that he's one wizard. He's one wizard.
Look at that.
Wow, that is clutch. That is an absolute clutch. I think
that'll work.
You could have just asked him like
I had no idea. I didn't even realize you had the same. Yeah, that's amazing.
I think it'll work.
Wow. But I like where you're going with this, because Gandalf is sent, like the wizards are sent in there to help and to support. But it's like, what is it that men and dwarves and maybe elves can't handle? Maybe something like a dragon. No. Like you look to the bigger kind of things that he would see as his task to root out and to destroy or to drive away. I think he wanted to drive. Isn't this a dragon from the north? And isn't he, maybe hoping that he can kind of, send him back north, possibly? Maybe not even kill him, but just to relocate him. I really can't remember. And so if people are listening right now and it's mentioned somewhere, I apologize, but I did not
I have to go to the bathroom.
Do a reread here. Yeah, you want us to continue?
I'm going to go put out a fire with some water.
Watch this. This is clutch right here.
I got to see a man about a dragon.
Oh, wow. Drain the lizard, huh? I mean, more like a worm. Worm? Oh my gosh, that's insane. This is clutch podcasting right here. When Lane leaves, we keep it going.
I like it.
Isn't that crazy? It's a little risky. Yeah. It's actually a little risky. But the great task of removing these individuals. And I just thought, as you were talking about this, about the green dragon, I was like, why not? That is kind of fitting that maybe there were other dragons and you would want to get rid of them. So he's called in the film, and I don't know if he's called it here or not, but like a fire drake from the north, and you're like, okay, do you want to just drive him away? So I think that would be neat. I do know it is, and I said this on, I think it was Inside Information. I went and did a little bit of digging in, I forget what it's called, like the Tales of Erebor, and it's Gandalf telling Frodo about kind of what happened and why he was doing what he was doing a little bit.
Okay.
So, and you're totally right. It is he wanted to move against Smaug in some way. I don't think his plan was fully hatched.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't know that it was like, maybe he thought Thorin was going to get more support or something. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like because the dragon had been laying asleep for
like 60
so
years.
Long. Yeah, that no one did it die in there? Is it weakened? Could it be killed if we snuck in there? You have to almost go, let's go knock on its door before a Dark Lord does, and takes it, and and they come together and forge an alliance. Yeah. So
that's what I like to think anyway. And I know Gandalf's powers. He doesn't always use them, or he doesn't constantly use them. More like when he has to. And I think he was saving it for Smaug if he had to.
Yeah.
I think he had it. Just other things got in the way.
So I never honestly even thought about that.
Point blank. Let's just ask the question that everyone wants us to ask. Could Gandalf kill Smaug? One-on-one. I think absolutely he could. Because if he fell through fire and water.
Because I think the thrush would have spoken to Gandalf too.
Absolutely.
If Gandalf was the man to stand against him, I think the thrush would have told him on the spot too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask this question.
Oh, here we go.
Could he have, if fate was that it needed to be this arrow, that it needed to be barred, that the thrush needed to speak to a descendant of a Lord of Dale?
Ooh, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Like, is it too tied up in fate for it to have ever been? Like, it could have been maybe an intention of Gandalf's.
Yeah.
But could it be impossible because I'm playing the other side of the coin?
Yeah. No. I think a lot of times, and Mike was saying this, that Gandalf is the wizards, the wizards.
It would be cool to see it though, wouldn't it? Like,
Oh,
what would it look like? Like, what would Gandalf start
Absolutely.
walking on the water
Sick. He would literally start walking on the water.
and like part the lake at the same time? Like he's Moses and Jesus in one.
Dude,
just
Bard's
and,
out there
throwing water balls at him.
I mean, literally, and it's just like as long as Gandalf's hands are like up and he's creating this wall of water, Bard is the men of Lake Town are holding like Moses. They're holding up his hands so that they won't drop. Oh my God, we've turned into some fanfic on Gandalf. Oh my
great.
gosh! But
I had never thought of this. I think
it's amazing.
this is why this is so much fun. Like
Yeah.
it's just
to let the mind
Never
kind
thought of
of
that.
because you are probably reading this for the first time. I can't really remember as a sixth grader what I was thinking about this. I just remember thinking how cool it was and just experience taking it in.
caught up in it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just caught up in it. But to say, could he take him one-on-one? I think yes. But what you're saying is he is meant to inspire. He is meant to kind of have men and have the beings of Middle-earth stand up for themselves, and he's going to give guidance and counsel and help them in their maneuvering and help them see the maneuvering of the Dark Lord, possibly his return. So yeah, I think that's awesome. All right, so really, just I'm gonna kind of bounce way ahead here a bit. So yeah, just get to the thrush suddenly kind of dropping out and fluttering onto his shoulder. So really, all leading up to that, men are jumping into the water on every side. Women and children are being huddled into boats. You do have the master himself turning to his great gilded boat, right, and hoping to row away in all this confusion and to save himself. And I did like that in the book, in the film, he's killed, right? Isn't he killed? The master?
Smog lands on him.
Yeah,
that's right.
What? But in this, it is Bard who kind of has to fulfill the wishes of the work on behalf of because he should be King Bard, right? But he died. No, he didn't die. That's what they say, right? They say, "Oh, if we would have named him king."
Dude, this was an epic moment where he like just appears drenched.
Yes,
And he's like, no, he didn't perish.
he didn't perish.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
He comes up.
What a
rises
cool
out.
like that's a movie moment that Tolkien just wrote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Can I mention something else
Yes.
too that
Yeah.
I love about the book over the movie?
Yeah.
The absence of the master's minion,
Oh,
Alfred.
I don't like him.
I can't stand him either.
Okay.
I think he ruined
comedy.
the
Just
third
they tried
movie.
to-
Yeah, it was.
It was too much.
Well, it was too much. Had they have
too
just
much.
cut it off in Lake Town, it would have been fine. But wearing the dress all the way to
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
he looked like
was
the
crazy.
character from Robin Hood. Like there are people who've made that like when Little John dresses up as a woman and is shoving gold coins in his bosom.
Little
Yeah.
John,
Rocking in the forest.
I love that movie. But yeah, it does.
Sorry, I just had to.
No, yeah, I'm
That's
with
a
you on
good
that.
point.
Honestly,
That's a good point.
and I think like doing that, what they really did, honestly, is they substituted Alfred for the master.
Yeah.
Because you had Alfred like who almost kind of became the same type of
Yeah, why do that?
other option as a leader for Lake Town.
Yeah.
And he was just essentially what he in the movies, from what I remember, is he was just like the foil to Bard. So whatever
Right.
Bard wanted to do, he was like, I don't know if we should really do this. It's like, what, bro? Like at what point are we trying to fill time for this third movie?
Yeah.
That
Although
is something I
liked
didn't.
the third movie. I actually
I
liked
do
it.
too, but yeah,
Right.
maybe make it 45 minutes shorter by just cutting out all his junk.
It grows on me every time, and I'll say this too. I think one of the reasons why they did that is to explain Bard's lineage and Dale and the difference between Lake Town and all that. I think it was just to help accelerate him a little bit and just to say, no, we have to turn to this guy. I don't know.
Couldn't we have kept the master alive?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you could have maybe still done it
and
with the
Stephen
master.
Fry is like an awesome actor
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember when shoot, man, this was like a couple years before I can't remember. That actor was announced, and there were all these like fan rumors that were like, oh, he's gonna be Drogo Baggins. He's gonna be Frodo's dad.
Wow.
Because that actor
It's
actually
reference.
looks a lot like
Yeah.
Elijah Wood, and people were like too similar. And I remember being so disappointed when I saw him as like a unibrowed like right, like Worm Tongue for Lake Town. And I remember thinking, gee, it would have been cool to see Drogo, and like people
a
were
flashback.
like, we're gonna see
thoughts.
Gollum like drown Drogo and Frodo's mom. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh my god!
And I was like, whoa,
wow,
that would have been awesome though.
Yeah.
But yeah, instead he ended up looking like Little John with gold coins in his bra, spit into a troll's mouth.
It's unreal.
Like
that is unreal. Yeah, I thought about that though. Bilbo does reference his father a lot, and what his old pappy would say, and it's like
lost his dad. Yeah,
he's got all that wisdom. So anyway,
wait, Bilbo or Frodo? What did I say?
You said Frodo.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Frodo's dad. Sorry, not Bilbo's dad. Not Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, there were people who thought that because he looks like Elijah Wood, kind of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, in The Hobbit? That we would seen it.
Well, I think that maybe they were gonna. I don't know.
Oh, did they cast him at the beginning of like? Did this?
I can't
remember if they shot all of that all at once. Like the Hobbit. Remember how they did with Lord of the Rings?
I think they did.
Because that would make
I think
sense if
they
the
did.
castings were all up front and you didn't know. Because after a movie or two goes by, you're like, they're not doing that.
And I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think maybe that they were gonna show that.
Got it.
Like when they got to the Gollum sequence or something, even that wouldn't. I'm not sure it would make sense.
I got you.
Maybe that's how he. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Real quick, I want to read this part just because it's kind of cool. This is the thrush is saying, "Wait."
Yeah.
It said,
Yeah.
"The moon is rising." Is that how the thrush sounds?
Is it an old thrush? Is
yeah,
he
it's
dying?
very always hoarse.
I was gonna say he sounds like he's got something in his throat.
On the left breast, as he flies and turns above you.
That's what it sounds like.
What's your thrush sound like in your head?
Just a bunch of whistles. I don't know.
Oh yeah, sort of like Grandma's voice. So I can just get in there, shoot him right through the.
Mr. Herbert from Family Guy.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine. I don't know what did mine sound like.
So the audiobook does a really like that's
What is it?
I
Is
listen
that
to
what it is?
That's
Is
what
it
it is.
whistling?
Just-
Wait.
Is it Rob Inglis?
I don't. I can't remember. Yeah, it's yeah. He's got a real
Every song is
breathy
the same.
like.
Well, maybe he just flew from the mountain. He's out of breath. He's trying to tell him. Yeah, no, it's accurate. It's good. I like it.
Accurate. Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah. So it is, yeah, he's telling him to wait. Yeah, exactly. To check under.
I almost kind of envision like a woman's voice. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay. Could be. Yeah. Exactly. What do I assume?
Like an almost. Is it weird that? Maybe it's just getting too late. Like almost a sensual voice. Way. Maybe not essential, but like ethereal. Way. Like almost.
The moon.
It would sound like a. You wouldn't place it as a bird's voice. The moon is rising.
Yeah.
Look for the hollow of the left breast. Maybe because it says breast, that I think that my mind goes there. I'm still a 13-year-old kid in a lot of sense.
Anyway, so it's not only the thrush is speaking, but then the bowman in his grim voice. Now, what does this voice sound like? Right?
Okay.
Grim, like a grim voice, not the grima, not that voice.
You tell me. What do you think?
I
Bard's
don't know.
voice?
Grim. I don't know. I feel like it's arrow. That's what he says. He starts with arrow. Arrow, said the bowman. I'm not the actor here, by the way. We have an actor. I'm like,
I don't know.
yeah. Black
Just
arrow.
without hope.
Without
Grim,
hope.
just kind of.
True. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
this is the last thing I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arrow, I send you to your home. Farewell. Fly true, and pierce that breast I see. Thrush has got me a little turned on.
Cheesy cow. Who knows? So it is kind
Hopefully I
of.
don't shoot too soon.
God.
Lord, guide this.
We wouldn't say Lord, would we?
Ilivata, Lord of Lake Town.
Come on, way. Your power's in the sky. Lord of the sky.
Ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Aru, fly true.
That's so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. He calls it the Black Arrow, though. I have saved you to the last. You have never failed me, and always I have recovered you. And I thought about this. I was like,
really
do you think
cool.
the arrow's pissed?
Yeah. Like
He wasn't recovered. Like, you know what I mean? Until now, this shall be your last flight. I had you from my father, and he from of old. From of old? Who's that?
Of old. Oh my gosh, who is from of old?
Oh jeez. If ever you came from so there's a question. If ever you came from the forges of the true king under the mountain.
Oh,
now
so we don't
go.
Maybe it wasn't
know.
a sure
And
thing.
speed well. Yeah, so I kind of think basically this arrow is just like I'm gonna prove all y'all I was from the mountain. Y'all don't think I was from the mountain? I'm gonna fly up there and I'm gonna take Smog out.
Y'all watch this.
Y'all watch this. I don't need nobody to shoot me. I'm gonna go up there and get him. So, anyways, there he goes. It's so great. Like, I mean, the thrush has a voice. Like Bard has a voice. The arrow has a voice. I don't know. What
It's been so long since we've had
crazy.
voices.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's
wild.
all coming out.
Oh god,
That was
so
great.
Anyways, this is where you get the moon. We already talked about it. The great bow twanged. Boom, the arrow sped. It's very well described though that it smote and vanished. Barb, shaft, and feather. So fierce was its flight, and it basically goes all the way in. I mean, it's not like it's hanging out there. This thing shot in there and stayed.
And then my question too is like, what happens to an arrow that gets inside a dragon? Does it
burn up?
Yeah. Does it like incinerate?
I
think
penetrate? Probably a certain chamber.
Come on
now.
Is there a burning sensation? Like I just need to know. Like
I know you. Well, I can't tell. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, we can muse
not-
about Gandalf
hey,
for 45 minutes, but
I'm sorry.
you can't tell
Is it
me what
just-
happens to an
the
arrow.
reason I can't is I'm not the guy around this table with all that experience.
Are you from of old?
I'm talking to two fathers. You guys tell me, okay, which king from of old? Lane's working on the shirt ideas. You guys got to go check out our shirts, by the way. We have a ton of really good shirts. We have the Moisty Mountains over there. We've got the Lake Town Lifeguard. There's literally a ton of just sick logos.
Did you like the play on
Mountains.
the like normally you have like a first aid cross?
Yes.
And how I turned it on its side and made it like a bloody X.
Yeah. It was
Like
sick.
you're marked.
Yeah.
I hope Kurt has that one.
Oh,
If he doesn't, we need to
We're
get
gonna
it
buy
for him.
him. Yeah.
He needs to wear it to his.
It was his.
his
Can you
job.
imagine if he shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, hopefully we make it."
Hopefully.
He's your lifeguard.
Like I know there's like well you have to save people from water. Yeah, my experience is fire.
I just thought
Fire.
lifeguard Bard. What is wrong with me?
Wow, it's a good one too. It's good.
Because he kind of saves everyone's life.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
yes.
not kind of. He definitely does. Okay. Anyway,
I don't know. Depending on where it was actually made from, or where it was actually made, what it's
True.
made of.
And what it's made of.
It made. I don't know. I feel like maybe it just kind of like forges, or not forges, but just kind of like
Fuses or something.
fuses with him.
Yeah. Also, if you look at what they did in the show, that was not just a wood. That's not an arrow. This is a black arrow, and he's like pulling
Huge.
back a
Yeah, it's
It's like a
huge,
spear.
Yeah. I mean that was kind of cool because it did make sense.
Yeah.
That that's how you would kill a dragon.
And I did love how Peter Jackson talks about the theory of why it was like it literally was. It had stuff hanging from it in his house.
Yeah, it had been
like it
long
had
forgotten.
dried flour, and it was like
Bard did.
Yeah. And he was like, Peter Jackson was like, well, we have to just have him. Like he can't go. I love how Peter Jackson, in a lot of ways, he thinks in the same way Tolkien does. Like what makes sense, what's practical. Like if you have this, he was like, we have to be able to have him just grab it and pull it down. Hidden in plain sight, right?
Yeah.
He was like, we can't have him go under a bed and like pull out a box, and there's no time for that. It's got to be always ready.
Yeah.
And the theory is it's going to be just hanging up in his kitchen, and he just pulls it down. And it is that part of I do love the black arrow and just the tip of it too. I think I have a picture in the doc of it.
Yeah.
Because Weta, I mean, they didn't just make it an arrow. It's beautiful. Like the tip of it itself is like spiraled and pointy and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's
It's very aerodynamic.
Unreal. With the puns today, guys.
Aerodynamic.
I wanted to mention too, and see if you what you think about this. So,
No, I don't think
you
so.
remember when Aragorn is coming back,
that?
right?
Who's Aragorn?
When he's thought to be dead, he's thought to be gone. Do you think Tolkien had this thought? Like, I like what I did with Bard. It was just a one-liner. Let me expand it with Aragorn a little bit, in that he's not that. Did that happen? Didn't that?
It's a movieism.
It's a movieism. Oh man, so maybe not. Okay.
When he
Then-
falls over with the warg and everything.
Yeah, because it kind of reminds me of that when he comes
It is,
back. And
yeah.
like, remember, he pushes the door and he comes in. That's on the book.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
That's all.
Shows how much I remember.
So you have seen the movies, though. That's good.
Seen the movie's confirmed.
There's probably a podcast out there you can
Oh
listen
my
to and catch
God.
up on it.
Lord. Yeah, I don't remember us ever like talking about. I thought for sure that happened. Yeah,
Dude, I do that all the time. Sometimes I'm scared to say stuff because I'm like, I don't remember if that happens.
Well, anyways,
in the book because the books are so long.
But you know
And
what?
the
In
other
the
thing-
film, though, Bard doesn't actually. Nothing like this
doesn't
happened.
happen.
Not even close.
No.
Come on.
So it's like they
What?
traded. It's like,
That's
well, we'll
ridiculous.
do this with Aragorn, but not with Bard.
That's ridiculous.
We're going and Alfred. We're gonna keep him. We're gonna kill the master like down. It'd be funny because he eats balls. Remember how he eats balls in there too? And we're gonna keep Alfred because I like something about that guy. I like how he looks when he's wet.
Who said that? Who said that?
My name's Peter Jackson.
This is Peter Jackson. Smaug.
He kind of eats like Denethor does too.
Yeah,
You think they ever like shared a meal?
Can you imagine? You have the tomatoes, I'll have the testes. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just.
I'd hate to be the one to clean up after they eat. You know,
So what is
make a
the?
mess
I mean, the
of her.
lesson there is that if you're a king, you're kind of a pig. Well, I guess
They're not really kings. But,
That's
yeah.
true. The master of the lake town, and then the steward.
Yeah.
So if you're
Stewards eat like slobs.
stewards eat like slobs and masters eat like maggots.
You guys trying to come up with short ideas like on the fly?
Peter Jackson.
Oh God.
Um, Dangus.
All right. Let's.
Mike and Gravy.
There's the voice. Oh Lord. Anyways, okay. So he does. So he does come back, and it's it's not an Aragorn moment.
Just like Aragorn.
Just like Aragorn, he comes back. No big deal. So he shows back up. Let King. Because I was even thinking, like, I don't know
We're
why.
so worried about Gandalf that you
No.
don't even care
I
what
was
happens
actually
with my
because
man.
the references to King. He's a King Bard. And all this. I was like, there's got to be some Aragorn reference. Not even close. Not even close. Because he feels like him. He feels like he's got that grungy kind
he
of
is.
feel.
He is
you
like
know?
he's a very, and I think that's what they try to do with, what's the guy's name? Luke Evans. Is they were like, well, we're not going
He
to have an
looks sick.
Aragorn. Yeah, he does a great job. Like
Yeah,
he's a
for
great
sure.
bard.
For sure.
And I remember being really excited about, like when you first see images of Luke Evans as bard, or when we first saw them, it's like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And I did like his portrayal of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they were looking for that there was an Aragorn hole.
Yeah.
That they needed to fill because so many people loved Aragorn.
Wait. Yeah. And was there also?
Okay, I was trying to be serious for once.
No, I know you were. I know you were. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like,
I think Beorn filled that as well.
yeah.
Just these wild
Did
men.
they fill the Arwen hole as well? And I mean that in
Oh yeah,
like what's her name?
Tario.
Tario.
I'm sorry.
Dude, we can't remember crap
I
today.
can't
Like what
remember
is
her name. Yeah, I didn't know her name. So
Tario?
but
yeah,
right?
for
I mean,
sure.
isn't she not like a
Yes.
You know. I mean,
Well, they filled the Legolas hole with Legolas.
all right. That's it.
Actually, do you know
we need to get back to the Hobbit.
they
hole because I
asked-
feel like that's the only thing that right now that's.
They actually asked Viggo Mortensen. They were like, "Will you come back and play Aragorn?" And he was like, "He's not in the books."
Right.
And they were like, "Well, we'll create something for you, have you back." He's like, "No."
No way. Are you serious?
Viggo was like, "He's not in the books. I'm not coming back."
That would you think that would have gone over? I didn't even know that. That's are you?
I mean, probably as well as like Legolas went over. I don't think a lot of people were excited
Thrilled.
about
Yeah.
Orlando coming back. I mean,
That one at least makes a little bit more sense to me.
it makes a
mean,
lot of sense. I think it makes way
It
more
makes sense he's in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's not in this story. So
Right.
And someone did the math because I'm not ever really good with math. They were like, he would have been like 14 years old.
Yeah.
So they would have, and there is that line. Oh my gosh.
What?
When Thranduil, at the end of this is the film, okay?
Oh,
Not the
I know
book.
what you're talking about.
I need you to find someone. Ranger of the North. His name's Aragorn. Go check him out.
Well, no, he doesn't even say
Become
that.
friends. What does he say?
He says his name. You'll
You'll
find for yourself or something like that.
Okay, I
Talk about a
And then they play a
blank.
little fellowship
Oh
tune
my
there.
gosh, yes.
friends. This is the day where Ez admits that he's never
seen the
read
movies.
the books nor have
That's
I seen the
right.
movies because I don't remember that.
You're wearing Star Wars stuff.
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember even what you guys are talking about right now. Like you're talking about Lego. Like yeah, I do kind of.
Thranduil at the end of
the very
Battle of
end.
Five Armies. It's
Holy
You probably tried to
smokes.
block it out of your memory because it's cringe. It's just cringy. It's like
I don't even.
Why'd we do
even
that?
if I even as I kind of recall seeing it, I didn't get the connection. What an
so. What's
idiot.
worse?
I'm-
Is that worse or when he goes, "What is this? Some sort of gremlin? It's my wheel-eyed Gimli."
weird.
What's worse? Is it that moment with Legolas or the one where he's
Ah.
like, "Go find this ranger who's actually like 14 years old"?
I think the Gimli one made more sense.
Yeah,
I didn't even
that
catch
one
the.
made
I didn't
more
catch the
sense.
other.
Yeah.
One. I didn't catch the other one. Wow.
It's like so like as a normal person, you're watching that scene going, okay, so we're supposed to think for the next like 60 years, Legolas and Aragorn are just palling around. Like that's the start of their friendship.
Yeah,
Why?
I mean,
like why did you have to?
Yeah.
Why'd you have to?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like we don't resolve Legolas and Gimli's friendship at the end of Return of the King. Why do we have to imply that?
I guess I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're the two because they go sail off.
Yeah.
We know that from the books, right? But we don't see anything to resolve their friendship in the films.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's like we'll trust our fans.
Oh sure.
You know?
You guys know
Yes,
what
we can
happens.
fill in those white
you'll
spaces.
figure it out, and we don't have to show you.
No.
So I felt it was like the opposite. I don't know what got
kind
us
of-
off on this tangent. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't know.
Well,
Aragorn, the Aragorn hole.
Aragorn
Yeah.
hole. I created it, and we've tried to fill it, and I don't think it's been very successful. But
No, Peter Jackson didn't do it. We couldn't do it.
we
either.
couldn't do it. It's just impossible.
Could we call it Jackson Hole?
I'm literally like sitting here, thinking to
Wyoming?
myself, I don't even know because as you bring up that whole point with him
I
and
was
Legolas,
like,
I'm
have I seen the films?
like,
I don't.
no, I'm
Was
thinking
that
to myself,
Superman?
is there anywhere in like, did they have a? I know there is some relationship, but like that early on, I don't even know what his early on. I know.
Did
like,
Tolkien know? Did he write that?
Yeah, like he and Arwen had that history in Lothlorien and things like that. But I didn't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
like,
in Rivendell, like when
Legolas
he was.
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think even then,
I don't remember
Aragorn
where
was
that was
just a
at.
kid in Rivendell at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I don't.
and elves are never kids.
Yeah,
I don't care what anyone
yeah.
says. They're never kids.
Anyways.
They're definitely not fun.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to
Okay.
drive us through this.
Are you
This.
talking about Aragorn holes
Yeah,
and Arwen holes,
I
Jackson's hole?
feel like we need to. You remember that idea?
Wyoming.
This idea that we're going to keep secret, keep safe. I think that needs to come a lot sooner. The one where we do one of those and we step aside and we let
Oh, dude.
I think it needs to come
Oh,
a
jeez.
lot sooner.
I don't like that.
It's my
Lane
time.
and Nez hole.
Time to retire. Anyways, so the
That's my favorite thing we did in the last 10 years. Just
yeah,
so you know.
that was actually a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Anyways, so
So he shoots the arrow.
he shoots the arrow.
Yeah.
Small goes down. Done.
Like, okay, so here again, I'm just way too entrenched in nostalgia. It's gone a step further. I'm not just rewatching The Last Dance. I've been rewatching like 90s Bulls games on YouTube.
Yeah.
And just being like, man, this was something I watched as a kid.
4-peat.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a 4-peat.
4-peat. But I'm thinking I'm just thinking about like pressure shots, like last minute shots.
Clutch shot. Yep.
And it happens all the time. Like you're like, okay, we have a little Tykes basketball hoop in the backyard. And when I put stuff away at night, I'm like, this is it.
It's for it all.
This is it. And I'm on the
Just
grass.
take down Smog.
And the hoop is over there on the pavement. And this is a little bouncy ball. And it's been a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that him seeing his arrow and knowing the significance of this arrow, that he was like, got it. I don't even need to think about this. I just need to feel it. And I know where it's going. Like this, he's shooting a moving object, a teeny tiny hole where a scale is missing with a massive big old black arrow with the bird fluttering in his ear. There's fire all around him. Who knows what the wind's doing?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
this is a clutch shot, and Tolkien's just like, yeah, he made it.
Yeah. Here's
Does
what
that speak to the power of Bard, the arrow?
Yeah.
Tolkien's just like this. It was destined to be. There's nothing he couldn't have screwed this up. Was every moment in his life leading to this?
This is such a clutch shot. I'm totally just going on tangents today. But this is such a clutch shot that
Is it
I
like
can
a putt
actually,
or
I
is
can-
it a jump shot?
This is
What
a
is
game.
it?
This is you were likening it unto like a clutch
it
game
a
shot,
pitch?
right?
Yeah.
They're in Lothlorien.
Okay.
And here's what's happening. The elves are watching this through Galadriel's mirror.
Okay.
All right. They're watching this, and it's Galadriel sitting there. She's saying,
Gathered around.
It's like the big game.
she literally says this. She was just like,
This one's going in.
she says, "Stray but a little, and it will fail to the ruin of all. Yet hope remains, while the aim is true." You know, I mean, like Galadriel's just, oh god, and they're all huddled around like watching this, and
And there are elf children. Get down! I gotta see the shot.
there's a shot, and then they're all yeah,
Can you imagine trying to watch a game in that mirror?
They're all
Just like peering over.
they're all betting on lambus bread. Like I don't know, crazy. Sorry. Anyway, while Ez is just making up things that happen in the films and the books,
I have one.
give us a real connection.
I think Book Bard thinks that way because it mentions he's captain of the archers.
Yes, he's captain. Yep.
The movie Bard, not so much. He's just a fisherman.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
So I think
he feels
the
more
book
pressure in the movies.
Yeah.
In the books, he's like, got this.
I think so.
He's been honing this for a long time.
Wow, what
He's
an
been
interesting-
waiting for this.
Yeah, he's a fisherman. Wow.
That's
he
weird,
gets the
right?
he picks up the barrels.
That's
like
massive.
he's,
That's massive.
he's there.
Oh yeah, he's
He's the barrel
Yes,
rider or picker upper, I guess.
he's one of the ferrymen.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the
Wow.
Thranduil's place.
Wow. But
Right.
let's make him king.
But
That's that. Yeah, I do remember when he was called the captain of the bowmen. Yeah, so that's cool.
was that in the movies or the book?
That was in the book. I just read that. It's the only reason I know it.
You guys remember that time like Gandalf did that thing?
Yeah.
Where he just swirled.
Hey, here's something kind of cool.
Wandered around.
So as this,
It's too much fun.
there's more. Once they start to proclaim him king and all this good stuff, the master shows up, and it's his words that kind of he keeps a position of power essentially, and Bard just does things that he wants to do, but in the name of the master type of thing. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to get to this part where, meanwhile, Bard took the lead, so I'm skipping ahead a little bit here, and ordered things as he wished, though always in the master's name, and he had a hard task to govern the people and direct the preparations for their protection and housing. Probably most of them would have perished in the winter that now hurried after autumn. But help came swiftly, for Bard at once had speedy messengers sent up the river to the forest to ask the aid of the king of the elves of the wood. And these messengers had found a host already on the move, although it was then only the third day after the fall of Smaug.
Yeah.
So I just think it's cool. They're already on the move.
Yeah. And then we learn too that it's Thranduil's instinct to go towards Lake Town. They didn't have to. They could have gone straight for the mountains,
yes.
right? And so I think also Thranduil is very different in the films. He seems much more driven by the riches and getting back the little jewel necklace thing that apparently Thror deprived him of.
Yep.
Right? Or stole from him, or said he was going to gift him and then didn't.
Is that in the books or the movies?
That's in the movies.
Okay.
I'm
totally
pretty
can't-
sure.
just-
Well, do they mention it in the
he
Mirkwood? I can't remember.
Back when he's in Mirkwood, he mentioned something about a white gemstone or something like that, or white.
and that's what they show in the films.
Yeah, he mentions it just.
But he's much more driven
Doesn't
by.
say why he wants it though. I don't really get.
Yeah.
I thought it had something to do with his wife.
Does it really?
I thought so.
Okay.
And they kind of denied him having that, and that's kind of what started.
Snap.
That
All right.
So
might be way off, but that is something
could be
I
something
heard.
that's like commentary to.
Yeah, that he would have filled in
that he
later or
filled in
whatever.
later.
Or
Because
because in the movie, I was just like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
He just
They don't explain
closed
it very
the
well.
thing in front of him,
Right.
and now they're mad at each other. But I'm pretty sure, I think it had something to do with Thranduil's wife.
Remember the
I
sick
think.
moment? And so I did watch the movies. Remember the sick? Obviously, it's all I know. The
where
movie
he shows the dragon.
the face.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, like
That
he's
was sick.
cloaking.
From
He's
the-
cloaking that.
With some magic. I mean, guys, that was actually a sick move.
I know.
I
Yeah.
liked that a lot.
I did too.
Yeah.
So-
I totally didn't understand it either. I mean, so he fought dragons in the past, is what.
Yeah.
Which must
Yeah.
be flushed out somewhere else, maybe. Fleshed out. So I do like this version of Thranduil better because he is driven by compassion.
Book version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's much more. This to me seems more elven than what we see in the films.
Yeah.
Like driven by, okay, well, these are people that we trade with. We should probably go check on them.
Yeah.
Right. Essentially, that's what happens, isn't it? Like he has this sort of feeling or pull towards.
Well, I thought that was only after he met with the messengers because
Yeah.
it goes on to say
Oh,
he
okay.
turned his
Yeah.
which had first been direct towards the mountain. He hastened now down the river to the long way.
Okay,
Because he was going for the mountain.
Okay, so they have Bard to thank for that because he sent those messages.
And it says that all the...
And he could have ignored them. He could have been like, whatever, screw you guys.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah,
So,
but he didn't. He didn't.
So it's a little bit of both, I guess.
And really, it's more... I mean, you go get more context for the story because they are so confused about Bilbo. How did he get out? All that kind of stuff. How did they actually... Is there magic surrounding Thorin and his company? And they gather the tales a bit. But
and Thranduil has no concept of Gandalf, right? Being involved with the dwarves.
Yeah, he left before, prior.
Right. And I don't think they would have said something like,
Yeah.
it's a wizard who sent us.
Yeah,
I'm cracking.
Blame him. Yeah. But so it's not just like one, we talk about the thrush a lot in this, but all of the winged creatures went out. And so like the goblins are having their own war council in caves. I mean, and
because they come back into this.
Yeah. It's a big power shift.
Huge.
Smaug dying.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it was a big void.
And everyone thinks about, hey, it's up for grabs. And even like it is interesting. Even I wonder how many birds in an area were like, I'm not flying.
Yeah,
Smaug could come out at any time. Like how many birds changed? Well, because we when they find that little lookout last chapter, we talk. There's some mention how animals used to go up to this lookout point and they whatever, but because the dragon was there, that wildlife changed their behavior for fear of the dragon, right? I think that was mentioned last chapter, and so birds would also have changed their behavior,
right?
You would think. I mean, you could.
Yeah, exactly.
Deduce.
Yeah, it says there was a very great indeed was the commotion among all things with wings that dwelt on the borders. So whether it's just there's a commotion, it's because of his death. Also the desolation that was happening first. I mean, all of the his and then the proclamation that he is dead. Smaug is dead. Now here's something. So let's see. You said this. Beorn heard about it as well in his house. That will be the last we shall hear of Thorin Oakenshield, I fear, said the king. He would have done better to have remained my guest. It is an ill wind all the same, he added, that blows no one any good. For he too had forgotten the legend of the wealth of Thror. Or he had not forgotten. He had not forgotten that wealth of Thror. So it was that Bard's messengers found him now marching with many spearmen and bowmen, and crows were gathering thick above him, for they thought that war was awakening again, such as had not been seen in those parts for a long age. But yeah, I feel anyway. Yeah, that he's regardless. There's a stirring. I mean, go back to Mirkwood, and was there a reason he wanted to maybe not send? I mean, like Thorin doesn't give him all of the intel, and so he's kind of like, I'm going to lock you away. There's some bitterness between them, but like, is there a good reason to maybe not let Thorin go knock on the door here of this sleeping dragon in that land? I mean, I don't know. Are the elves that greedy that they? I don't think they're, like sure. I don't know.
Maybe just the
because I like in the film, Elrond kind of basically is like, I don't know. Don't know if I like this. They almost have to sneak out of there.
It's almost like so what's going to replace the dragon? Right. What kind of imbalance could happen, or what will this do to people? Like the human element, right? Of like fighting for riches that are up for grabs, and what that does to people.
It's almost like it was better that because there's the sickness or the legend of Thor's treasure. Maybe they thought it's almost better that it affects Smaug and he just stays asleep in the mountain than somebody else go in there and get affected by it and go power crazy, I don't know, or something.
And what that will do to different groups of people.
Right. Because Smaug was just asleep. He wasn't bothering anybody.
True that. Yeah. What did he ever do?
Right.
What did Smaug do?
He did a lot. But
he killed a bunch of dwarves?
Yeah.
Way back in the day?
Dwarven dorks.
Hey, maybe it was his mountain first. And he went away for a while and they took it.
Maybe he was just lonely.
Maybe he was.
He was looking for a mountain.
Maybe he was.
He thought, lonely mountain.
Maybe maybe the Arkenstone is actually a dragon egg, and he laid. Come on now, and that's his future.
Smaug's baby.
Maybe.
And it got calcified because it had been there so long. Where's Smaug's mommy? Or where's his mate?
Actually, I was about to bring that up.
Is Smaug
she? Some people. Some people, and it was George R. Martin kind
That's
of.
That's why he
dragons.
says Schmaug.
Schmaug. That dragons are neither male, and like George R. R. Martin.
Because he's an authority.
He's I'm just saying it. Hey, to your point,
he can't figure out how he wants to end his stories.
Yeah,
all right,
he can't finish it.
He's right about the Jets.
Wow, unreal.
Was he a fan of Adam Gase?
How dare you? But the king, real quick. So you had brought up like he does have a good heart, and it is actually he receives the prayers of Bard and had pity. So there you go. For he was the Lord of a good and kindly people.
I remembered something.
Yeah. So he turned his people. So he listens to their cries, and then that is a totally different vibe.
Yeah, not the vibe you get from Thranduil. You don't
really,
trust him.
I think because the messengers get there already. I think they have heard some winged messengers come and tell them what's going on. I don't know that the message was Smaug is out and about. I think it might have even been like
there's a disturbance in the force.
Thorin has showed up here. He's gone to the lonely. I think maybe they're like, wow. I don't know. Maybe I think he's moving his forces prior to that. I don't know. Maybe they heard. Maybe it was the day that Smaug went out and he cracked the side door and all that kind of stuff. And that's when a lot of the birds, rushed over into the forest and told him. And then now we're moving because
rushed or thrushed.
Wow. There.
Smaug is out.
So, anyways, I think
not at home.
That's pretty much. So there's only 5 days after the death of the dragon, they came upon the shores and looked on the ruins of the town. Their welcome was good, as may be expected, and the men and their master were ready to make any bargain for the future in return for the Elven King's aid. And so they kind of we'll get into later on some of the negotiating and things that the alliances that they kind of build, and this is where the master and his negotiating skills is elevated a little bit, and this is maybe why we kept him around, type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's pretty much. If there's any final points on that,
well, he wants to rebuild Lake Town even more. I did love the whole the remains of the dragon.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I love how he ends the chapter.
And it's just like this spooky, almost haunted patch of
water.
Nobody
goes there.
Yeah. And
especially with all the jewels that were on his belly. And they're just laying there. Anybody could go take them, but nobody goes first.
It's like this temptation of who's going to dive down and get those. You'd be a rich man, but what's the price, or woman, but what's the price you would pay? Right. Or what's the price one would pay for grabbing those?
Wow. I think I just figured out what's buried at Oak Island. Just freaking... Dragonland.
Smog's bones. A lot of wood. Smog's bones. Can you imagine? Smith Cove is actually where Smog's remains are.
Hey, there's a black arrow down there too, probably.
God.
Hopefully they find. Well, if it's made of wood, they'll find it.
You're the man. Yeah, it's an awesome book. Thanks.
Yeah, it is a good book.
It is.
Yeah. Wait, the story or
the actual physical book? Sorry,
Jaren Token.
I've not read the book, so I don't actually know whether.
Dude, that was a great chat. I mean, honestly,
that was fun.
I did not think
we get that much out of it.
It would spark that kind of. But here again, it's just it's because we're all together and having fun and talking about a great. There's a lot packed into that chapter.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I've thought about this actually. We don't really. What? Did I do that?
I just thought Gandalf coming back to life. I just thought to myself, what if I just shushed Ez? What would happen? It's like when you.
What if you did shush me and I just freaked out? I tried to do it. I'm not really. I feel like you're swallowing your tongue. I don't know what's going on.
He almost kind of does. I think. Do you ever play that thing where you're like, what if I just did something right now?
You do it all the time.
And all the time. It's always hypothetical. I never actually do it, but I was like, what if I just go shh 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 shh. Like as a deep point, and people are gonna get so mad because they're like, Wayne derailing us again. He was giving us gold.
This happens all the time. Ez making a great point about that black arrow, and just
what they don't know is there probably wasn't a great point on that one.
Yeah, I was driving to nothing, and Lane knew Ez doesn't have a finishing line, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and
every arrow has a great point.
Wow. All right,
get it. Point.
Truly. Can I say something,
please?
Without being shushed.
Sure.
You
don't remember.
Totally forgot. No. I do think though it is fun to have these conversations because I've never really thought about.
Well, I'm glad it's fun for you.
Gandalf the way we thought about him today, and I like that. And I really do. I don't think we. Like, Lane and I don't go look up a whole bunch of commentary from people who have looked at this for years and years and years. We really just try to take it off the cuff, what do we think about it, and what connections can we make? That's what we've always tried to do, correct? We've always tried to be authentic and hobbits about it.
Yes.
And it's fun to just speculate a little bit and do a little bit of what if, because we got into a green dragon theory.
Right.
Gandalf the Dragon Slayer. I mean, it's the way I see it. It's cool.
So do you think at the bottom of the pool,
Oh yeah.
in Hobbiton, that's where the little remains of
Could
the
you
green
imagine?
dragon are? I think the green dragon's got to be small though.
Oh,
like
he's
a
not,
worm.
Yeah, not even
Like a worm.
Nope. Yep.
A youngling.
Makes sense being around the hobbits.
Maybe.
Smaller. Made sense to live around them.
Maybe in the new lake town they have a tavern called Smogs.
Small. I mean,
Smogs.
wow. Can we?
Dude,
Another
and
shirt idea. Come on.
They specialize in. That would take a while to drop. I mean, I could. They specialize in like Fireball whiskey type drinks, like
Wow.
the fire and water.
Wow.
It's vodka.
All
and
their
it's
drinks are lit on fire.
Cinnamon schnapps or something like that.
Wow. That'd be cool.
They're all lit on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Anyways. We're ridiculous. We're ridiculous at this point, and we appreciate all of you still listening at this point.
Yes, we do.
You're wonderful people. All right.
You're wonderful people. You sound like a politician. You're
I've done too
wonderful
many.
people out there.
I've done too many voices today. I don't even know which one's really mine anymore.
Yeah.
I think
It's
you
like
should
3.
stick with the thrush. I like that
Yeah.
one.
That was good. It sounds like. It kind of sounds like someone who's like saying, like in the toilet, "Don't come in." You don't want to see this.
Lane's like, I've heard this from.
I've done
before.
that before. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's move on. Let's get into some Bywater Post.
Bywater Post here.
Yeah.
Mike, would you like to read
Yeah.
one or both, or
Yeah, I'll take one.
okay?
Yeah. The first one I pulled up here. This is
So the I guess
Joshua.
the stipulations are there words in there you can't read?
Oh, there's always words in a Tolkien story that I can't read. Always. Like, just so you guys know, real quick, while you're pulling this up, I read The Hobbit in 6th grade so that I would only. This is a refresher for folks. So I mentioned this in the beginning of the whole when we started the podcast. I read The Hobbit because I was not a very good reader.
Yeah.
And
That's beautiful. I was just teasing you. It's a way to make it serious.
No, I know, but I became a better. I mean, like I enjoy learning about how to read. I said this in the kitchen earlier. You're really good at syllable division and like picking up where the accents are and like how words are pronounced. Like Ben's really good. Yeah,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're
Really good.
You're welcome. But I read it for the accelerated reader points because I said they
one
told me
book.
if you read this book, that's the only one you have to read. And I was like, and then the librarian sold it to me,
Doesn't
dragons and treasure, and I was like,
Doesn't that put a
that's
lot of
what I
pressure on that test? When you were taking
It
that AR test,
did.
were you like, Black Arrow,
It did.
find your mark? Like for every single one, you're like, please be C, please be C.
SBC.
I would not always take my time on those tests.
Don't think I did like at an ACE it or whatever, but like I definitely like I knew most of it.
Yeah.
I felt really confident, and I got
awesome, dude.
I knew I only had I literally took that one. There
All
were
your
so
dragon eggs in one basket.
there were so many points in it though that I only needed to hit a certain like get like a 50 or
20%.
60 yeah
Okay.
yeah like not 20%. I got through the first chapter. No, that book though, my mom let me finish it in the back of church. She let me take that in the car and read it in the back, and it just wasn't very good at it. It was, it really helped me.
That's
with my
amazing.
reading.
That's like
So-
huge
Yeah, it was huge.
for your mom to let you read it in church.
Oh, it was huge. It was huge. I mean, literally, I couldn't believe it. Dad's up there preaching the gospel, and I'm back there just like reading
Reading
about
the gospel.
smog.
Reading the gospel.
Reading the gospel of smog.
Right.
All right. Anyways.
I watched King Arthur for the first time the other day. The one with Charlie Hunnam. He
Never
is your
seen that.
twin.
I've gotten that before.
Have you?
I've
Okay.
gotten
I'm
Charlie
sorry if you
Hunnam.
hear it all the time. But I was
No, I
just
mean,
like,
I'll take that one.
I was like, that's lame.
Cool dude. I've heard Charlie Hunnam before. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Oddly enough, when I got see now I look in the mirror and I'm like Azog. I look like freaking Azog because I have elven ears and I'm bald now.
Oh my god.
And sometimes I just get that look where I'm like,
That is hilarious.
"Bring me the dwarf's head." I've gotten that. Another one that's weird that I can almost kind of see when I've had a mustache before. I've gotten Carrie Elwes.
I see it.
Because I've got like a weird
Now that you
little
say it, I see
tiny
it.
chin, and it was like when I had hair.
I
obviously.
see it more in your eyes.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Get the same
Yeah.
nose too. He's got
Yeah.
a-
I got to say something about Carrie Elwes.
Nose.
Amazing actor, but that accent in Stranger Things, he did not sound like he was an Indiana mayor. He sounded like he was from Alabama or something. Like, well, here in the town of Gatsby. Where's Stranger Things take place? Muncie? Wait, what's it called?
Indiana somewhere.
You call yourself a fan.
I have no idea.
We are a bunch of blanks. We are 3 blanks right now.
I can't remember anything today. Hawkins, Indiana.
Yeah. Well, I'm the mayor of Hawkins, Indiana.
I knew that.
And I remember hearing that going, Carrie, bro, you should have hung it up for this one. Either you should have done your research.
Yeah.
I know you're British, but do your research where Indiana is.
Yeah.
No one else, and here's your other clue. No one else sounds like you on this show. You're the only one talking like this.
Yep.
Maybe he was like a southern mayor who moved north to try and redeem himself or something for something wrong he did. Like maybe he started like a snowflake festival or something.
Right.
Icetown. Remember Icetown from Parks and Rec? Maybe he pulled an Icetown move and he had like a second chance at being a mayor. Mm-hmm. And he went up to Muncie. Or Hawkins.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're back to Bywater Post.
Greetings, Lane and Ezra from the great state of South Carolina. Thanks so much for creating this podcast. I've been meaning to get back into the Lord of the Rings for some time. I'm a graphic designer, and lately I've been listening to podcasts during work since I got bored of music. One day, I felt like typing Tolkien into iTunes to see what came up. I was very late in joining in, September 6th, but have been determined to binge listen to catch up. I listened to Fellowship of the Ring audiobook by Rob Inglis, and then switched to the podcast. I had just finished The Ring Goes South and hope to be caught up soon. I'm loving the book club feel and all the different inputs that everyone gives. I love that too. After just seeing a few episodes of your podcast, Samwise Gamgee became my absolute favorite character. I also felt a very strong connection when I learned that I was not the only one who owned a dog named Arwen.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. She is a Beagle Springer Spaniel mix and will be turning 13 in October. Now I would like to share my Tolkien story. My parents had seen The Fellowship of the Ring in theaters, though they were 15 minutes late, so they missed the entire prologue, making them confused for much of the movie. Same with me.
Really?
We walked in late. I remember when we walked in to see the theater, Gandalf was riding into the Shire, and I missed the whole beginning because we were late.
The whole prologue?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I get it.
So what did you think when you saw it like on VHS or whatever? Were you like, whoa, is this bonus content?
Yeah. Well, because I knew that we had gotten there late. So I was just like, what did we miss?
What did we miss?
Yeah.
That's a great way to start,
I think,
though,
So
Gandalf.
I think I went back and saw it because I think I saw at least
In the theater.
each movie twice. So I went back and saw it again.
But seriously,
It's just
how do we pick this Tolkien story this time in the same? I mean, that's
Right.
that's not many people that. I don't
That's
know.
eerie.
That's eerie. Yeah.
crazy. So I get it. So we're 15 minutes late, so we missed the entire prologue, making them confused for much of the movie.
Yeah.
Same here. At some point after the VHS tape release, when I was 8 or 9 years old, my younger brothers and I were allowed to watch the first movie, and we were instantly hooked. I read The Hobbit, followed by The Lord of the Rings when I was 11. To this day, I have difficulty staying focused while reading the books, but The Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit are some of the few books I can stick with.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah. A lot of people use that, say that about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it's too hard for them to focus on.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Over the years, we had collected many Lord of the Rings themed board games, action figures, and trading cards. We played with the action figures so much that many of them lost heads and limbs, but we still kept them. My friend and I even made up stories when we played with the action figures and recorded them on cassette.
Oh my gosh.
We were a sheltered Catholic homeschooling family, so every Halloween we were only permitted to dress up as saints or Lord of the Rings characters. That is too funny. One of my favorite memories growing up was lying on the couch in our finished basement every night during a Michigan summer, downing multiple flavor ices and listening to BBC radio series repeatedly.
Wow.
I just couldn't get enough. My oldest brother, who's now 22 and has a degree in music theory, is the biggest Tolkien fan of all of us. He plans to someday write a musical about Beren and Luthien. It's pretty cool. He can even speak Elvish, and his trading card binder is now at least 6 inches thick.
Wow.
I can't imagine our lives without J.R.R. Tolkien. Thanks so much for reading my lengthy story. I'm excited to get caught up and continue this journey with y'all. Sincerely, Mary Ippolito. P.S. I still haven't forgotten the sniffing.
Let's go, Mary.
Mary, I'm sorry I mispronounced your last name.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think you nailed it.
I think you got it.
Ippolito. Yeah.
Ippolito.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
That's what I said. So, yeah. That's wild, though, that connection.
What a
That is
story.
crazy, that missing the prologue. It's just crazy.
And it's so funny. I was just thinking about Arwen the other day. Dad came over, and I attempted to plug some holes. Plug some of the holes where the bats are coming in and out of.
Sure.
Is this the holy episode?
Sure.
I mean, she's Catholic.
She's Catholic.
Saints, holes of all kinds.
Right. Yep.
She's probably going to have to wash her ears, go to confession after she listens to
We
the episode.
definitely are
Poor
going.
Mary.
We're
Mary.
We're going.
This is oh man, this is the episode her Tolkien Stories featured in,
Shame
and we
on
were
us.
talking about
Shame on me.
I'm not even gonna say it. And Ez actually is going to be going to his first mass very soon.
Yep.
I think even though you're not Catholic, you should go to confession yourself.
I definitely am not crossing my arms when I go.
go. Jeez,
I learned that today from you.
So dad was, I don't even know if I got that right. I think I did. So dad was, holding the ladder, whatever. And then, I was plugging the holes. And, but Joey was over. Joey is my mom and dad's, he's like a Yorkie mix, and he's the last dog. He's the last dog. We had Michaela, and then we had Zeus, and Zeus died, big Great Dane. And Michaela was a husky, beautiful. Oh my gosh, just gorgeous. Zeus was beautiful too, but we didn't have Zeus very long. Michaela was like 16 or 17 or something. We finally had to take her in. I was there when she got, put down, and it was, never forget it, but it was difficult. Actually, I have her paw print tattooed. I need to get Arwen's as well, but but Arwen had known Michaela, right? And when we had Arwen, we got Joey, and Joey had known Arwen. And so we were out in the yard, and I was just like talking to Joey and saying, "What do you think Arwen would have thought about?" And Joey's starting to get old. He's not going to be around much longer. And it's just like seeing the last dog. And there's something about like those dogs having known each other. Like I can say something to Joey, and he knew Arwen. They would play together all the time. They would cuddle together, and so amazing. That's a great name, Mary. It's a great name for a dog, and so cool. We were talking about how, because we had a beagle at one point too, and his name was Penny, and he ran away. I actually named him after Penny Hardaway. Oh wow! But he I think either he ran away or someone stole him off our porch. We lived in a not great part of Mount Vernon for a while. Or just, I don't know, someone passed through and took the dog. I don't know. But anyway, beagles age so funny. Like they look like puppies, and then like 1 year they just look old. You ever notice that about beagles? Like they look really, really young and youthful and puppy, and then like something happens overnight and they're like old dogs. I don't know if any dog ages the same way beagles do, but they're they're adorable dogs. Yeah. What a cool story, man.
Awesome.
And that BBC radio play too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a weird sense memory. Okay, Mary, this is for you. So you associate flavor ices, right? And hot Michigan summers with listening to those BBC radio plays. Anytime I smell like fresh cotton / linen air spray, I think of those radio plays.
Yeah.
I think when I first got them, it was spring. I listened to them like nonstop, obsessively, and I think that was the spray that my mom was using in the bathroom or the rooms or something. And it was, the windows were open, and there was that strong scent. And so anytime I smell it, I think of the BBC radio plays. It's weird. Weird.
Yeah. It's awesome. All right. We got one more here. So we got Joshua. All right. Let's see. Here we go. My Tolkien story, huh? Just remember, you asked me for a story. This wasn't my idea. All right. Well, I suppose we will have to hark back to the life of a teacher's kid in the late 80s and early 90s. Here we go. My mother was a middle school English teacher who always told me that she loved The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, which, of course, could only mean one thing. I never read the books as a kid. I did, however, spend innumerable hours loitering about the school after hours and on weekends and holidays because papers need grading, rooms need decorating, and school events need faculty monitoring. As such, I would occasionally have full, unhindered access to the awe-inspiring trove contained within walls of a middle school library in a small rural school district. Eat your heart out, Hermione Granger. Wow, it's probably it's the same type of spot where that book was found, right?
Yeah, right.
It's probably Joshua's book.
Might be. I know what you're thinking. He's discovered the books on his own and had a bonding experience with his mother who loved the books. But honestly, I don't know why you would consider something so foolishly ill-conceived. I couldn't waste precious time trifling with mere books. I had ancient mystical powers at my disposal, powers that those of my generation surely recall being expertly wielded by the most deft of all their teachers and ushered into their lives by at the hand of the most mysterious of beings. I had a TV and VCR ratchet strapped to a rolling cart.
Amen.
Wow. And the 1977 Hobbit VHS and the 1978 Lord of the Rings VHS. Needless to say, I watched them, then never thought about them ever again, or so it may have seemed.
Do you remember seeing? There's like a meme that goes around that is a picture of exactly what Joshua just described, which we all remember.
Oh yeah,
and it was like when you saw this, you knew it was going to be a good day.
Oh my God, absolutely!
Like it was a Friday before a break.
That
TV. Kids will never know that now.
Isn't that crazy? That
TV strapped onto that cart.
We got the end of that. We got the tail end of that.
We did.
So Joshua was talking about the prime time when this was like,
I still remember it in middle school though.
Yeah, I do too.
Even in high
certain
school.
Teachers. Yeah, I guess we were kind of in a Yeah,
it was a DVD player, but in high school, but it was still that TV on the cart.
Yep.
Who's got the TV today?
The VCR player though in elementary. That's nuts. That is crazy what you think about. My kids nowadays don't even know what that stuff is.
Overhead projectors too. People don't know. Yeah.
Years later, in the break room of a grocery store at which I worked, a coworker was telling me about this movie that was being made about his favorite book of all time. As he described to me the books he so loved, I recalled seeing it as a child and had quite vivid memories about characters and battles. I became intrigued by what was clearly a far more interesting and in-depth story than I even remembered. I never did get to see the movies in theaters, as the 30-minute drive to the outskirts of the city discouraged much theater time for all but the most crucial of dates. But when I finally did see them in college, I was captivated by the cinematography, the music, and most of all the story. I wanted to read the books, but who has the time or inclination for reading books, especially in college? So instead, I just watched the movies over and over and on newfangled DVDs, no less. All right. It was the depth of the story, amongst other things, that kept me coming back to those movies. I hadn't yet realized it, or perhaps it was just the inarticulable... Wow. That's a big word.
Nice. Good job.
At the time. But I do seem to be drawn to stories with a deep lore. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, where there's a bunch of like background and world building and things like that, for sure. It wasn't until years later that I finally purchased the audio series to start to fill in the gaps which I knew I was missing from the movies and special features. The audio dramas were excellent listening, but after binging them in less than a week, I knew it was imperative to my mental and emotional well-being that I continue to dive in by purchasing the unabridged versions and then the books themselves.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow. I never did track down those old cartoon movies in my adulthood, a travesty which I'm sure I will one day rectify, but I still carry those memories with me. They obviously had a greater impact on me than I realized at the time. I have since read and listened to each book multiple times and find new richness with each fresh endeavor. This is one of the aspects of the Unexpected podcast that I most appreciate, hearing the fresh perspective and enthusiastic and entertaining host. Thank you both for all the work you do, and to Fellowship, who who have contributed their thoughts and perspectives to our collective literary adventure. That is so well written, Joshua.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, beautiful.
That is, I'm laughing the whole time because I can totally see all of this story laid out.
I don't think
this is a journey. We went on a journey with Joshua.
We did go on a journey unexpectedly. And I don't think we've ever had a Tolkien story open like that.
Yeah.
Tolkien story, huh?
Yeah.
You asked for it.
We're in it.
We're in it
already.
I also love, you and I have mused on this before too, the fact that like we, in a way, like unexpectedly, we become these collectors, almost like librarians with people's Tolkien stories.
Yeah.
That it is now this collective, like history.
Like a library.
Yeah. It is like a library.
Catalog.
Yeah, we're librarians for hearing.
I've always wanted to be a librarian.
Collecting your stories. Yeah, it's an amazing thing, man, too, because even if you know the chapter, right?
Yeah.
Or you're reading something,
or you don't.
Yeah, or you don't. Or even when we record, we've read the chapter before.
Yeah.
So we have thoughts coming into it. We have things that we want to share. But these Tolkien stories are always brand new.
Yes.
Something we've never read before.
Yep.
Something we react to live.
Yep.
It's awesome. Yeah, great story. Wonderfully written. I have never seen the Bakshi films. I've never seen the animated Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Ever.
After this is over, how about this? After we finish The Hobbit, would you be down?
Let's do it.
Because I
do a review of it.
I grew up on those. My grandma was one of the films. Like you had like the Rats of Nim and all the Disney movies and stuff, and then there was the friggin' Hobbit. Stuck in there.
Isn't
it crazy?
Are there parts of it that are kind of freaky?
There's like some scary kind of music, and it gets like Gandalf looks intimidating. He does have a blue. It's a little more blue than he is gray at some points, which is actually somewhat, blue gray is accurate.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's watch it
cool.
and then do a reaction or whatever.
Cool.
Something about some of those like 70s cartoons. The music is so jarring.
What? Not so sure. Maybe you should probably watch it first before you let the little ones watch it.
Although, like,
because
how
the goblins
amazing-
are kind of scary.
Sure.
Yeah.
How amazing is it that Winnie will, dude? She loves. There's certain scenes of Fellowship I play. Like she wants to see them crying.
Yeah.
Winnie loves.
They're emotional scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was Charlotte? Charlotte is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Charlotte for a second because Winnie is she's a showman in a sense. Like she will just. It takes a little while for her to warm up to you, but not much. Like not much. Charlotte is so much more reserved and secretive, and she's like a mystery. We always call her a mystery girl. And actually, her Charlotte means free man. It's like the female version of Charles, which means free man. And we've always Sarah's like, that's her. She's her own woman. Like she's her own girl. She's free. Like she's not gonna be whatever you want her to be. She's gonna be her own thing. And anyway, like I don't ever think about. She probably doesn't know. I'm like, I don't really know who's her favorite character in Lord of the Rings. And even if I ask her, she doesn't always answer me. And does she really even like her? Or is it just because I like it and because Winnie likes watching parts of it? Well, we're doing this. She loves that Lord of the Rings puzzle. Let me grab it real quick.
Yeah, grab it. I do. I like watching her watch the films and stuff. And,
they'll get this out, and there you go for the camera.
Yep.
It's like the Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, with featuring Aragorn. Anyway, she'll want to get it out and like just look through pieces and stuff. She named, no joke, like 3 or 4 of the characters.
Really?
Didn't even know she knew their names, and one of them was Gandalf.
Yeah.
And we were watching the movies the other day, or I can't even remember. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she pinpointed one of the characters' names, and I was like, "What the heck?" She is so fascinating. Like she takes in so much. I mean, just because she's not as outgoing as Winnie, you think, I don't know. Like people will think that about her. Or they're like, she's not talking as much. She's not expressing as much. But Sarah always goes back to this. She's like, I had a really quiet friend in high school, and people would talk to her about just being kind of like not as outgoing or whatever. And she was like, I hear everyone else's conversations. I know more about people than probably anybody else. Wow. I always think that about Charlotte. She'll be, so to tie into that, like she will be a lore master. She'll know everything. And people will think because she's not as talkative, I mean, and she'll probably change too, but I think it's a cool thing about her. Like she'll see conversations, she'll see the way people act, and she'll take all that in and she'll know it all. When people who are too busy talking will be like, I've never even thought to ask that about that person. And Charlotte will know. She'll be like, no, that's actually, we'll go now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's I don't know. It's so cool how different the kids are, but
yeah, that's awesome.
Just kids in general, and how you can. My dad always says it. He says, he's like, I'm amazed at how different all my grandkids are. Like how can they be all so different but come from like 4 people, like me and Sarah, and then my sister and Darrell. It's just 4 different people, and 2 of them are siblings, and they're so different. It's really really cool, really cool. All right, well, beautiful Tolkien stories as always. Mike, thank you for reading. Thank you for reading Mary's. Wow. Mary's story.
Of course.
Ezra, thank you for reading Joshua's.
Appreciate it.
So how do we want to do riddles in the dark? You want me to find a couple? You want me to dig into the emails real quick and find a couple for Mike? What do we want to do here?
We can. Yeah, we can.
Because I think we do have some still in the bag.
Okay, here we go. So I also have my.
Okay, I have one.
Oh.
From. I don't think we've done this one. This is from Sal Colosi.
Okay.
From Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
I don't know this one.
That's a crazy one. Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It doesn't even sound like a real place.
No.
It's magical. Phoenixville. Okay.
Well,
Louisville, Arizona. What's next? All right. What is heavy when it is forwards, but backwards it is not?
Heavy when it's forward.
Yeah.
But not when it's backwards.
Yeah.
I
really hope the answer is here because I have no clue what this
Should
is.
I type it in Google and see what
Can you imagine? Okay, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the doc. Just no cheating, all right?
All right.
Easy for me to say. I'm not even trying it.
Heavy when it's moving forward.
I guess I could try it because I don't know what the answer is.
Heavy.
Yeah, what is heavy? Well, let me read that.
when it's forwards.
When it's forward.
What is heavy when it is forwards, but backwards it is not?
Backwards it is not. Ought.
I have one, but it might be way off.
I know what it is. Go ahead.
The word not.
No.
I'm going to say the word not.
I'm going to say an opinion.
It's ton. Ton.
The word not.
That's what I said.
Heavy when it is forwards. Oh, okay, so it is ton.
Ton, sorry. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I think we're picking up the flickering from the candle, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we also heard a release of gas.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize that happened.
All right. It just happens so much, doesn't it?
I got one for you guys. You ready?
Okay.
All right.
Wait, are we going to do Sal's or?
Yeah, you got more. I didn't know if you had more.
It's just one.
Let's go.
I mean, do you want to see the answer? That's what I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
I know what it is.
It is a ton.
Ton. I know.
No.
Okay, look at his face right now.
I was so
look how
pumped.
pleased he is.
I got that. I was like, literally, like, figured it out.
That was really
It's
good.
like the first time.
That was good.
That's the little legit first time. Like,
What
you
is
probably see
heavy
the
when
camera
it's
where I was
forwards, but backwards it's not.
like, yeah.
Wow, that's really clever.
Backwards, it's not,
Ton.
but
Not.
forward, it's
Yeah, it's heavy.
All right.
All right, give us yours.
I
future boy.
I like to look up these are easy riddles for kids.
You jerk.
So I think it's
What a
sort of
jerk.
funny that are they that easy?
I feel really stupid now. Thinking. An
Okay.
opinion? What was I thinking?
Every week.
I need to go to bed.
Oh God.
I think you were deeping. Fuck.
We appreciate you being here. Oh my God. What month of the year
October.
has 28 days?
February.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Isn't that a hard one to say? February.
Actually, you guys are
February.
wrong. You guys are wrong. All of them.
Okay. Dude, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
You just need that sound clip to play it.
I wonder if we could just
Literally,
make someone.
they're
gonna be like, oh dang it! Like they're gonna like hate that sound.
I'm gonna do this. Podcast is brought to you by.
It's getting further and further from the mark too.
I don't know.
Oh, you
I
think so?
It's getting better actually.
Like you almost have to just.
getting there.
He's laying there like that, and he just goes.
Yeah,
That was really good.
That's actually
That was really good.
Actually hurt my tooth. You got another simple one for us? Yeah, that's like a trick question. That's not a riddle.
Okay.
It's like a okay.
Okay.
Something you like a teacher when they're being
Yeah,
mean
here we
goes,
go.
"Hey guys, how many months have 28 days?"
I can't believe
February,
I
and then
can't
you're
believe
like,
I'm about to read.
all of them suckers.
All right, here we go.
Wow, cool. You're smarter than a second grader.
What gets wet while drying?
Jackson's Hole,
Nope.
Wyoming.
What gets wet while drying? It's a really good one.
What gets wet while drying?
Yeah. Yeah.
A towel.
A towel. Good job.
Redeem myself.
Okay, I get
when
it.
you're drying
Just
yourself
drying
with
something
and it
else.
gets wet. That's a good one. I thought that was good. These are all like I saved these just for these are
that's
funny.
pretty
It's
good.
good. All right. I think we're good.
Not gonna lob me
There's
a
100.
softball or-
There's 101.
Give me another one.
Is it one more? Okay.
But you each have got one right. Now it's my turn. I got to get one. We're not going home until I get one right.
Wow. Okay. What can't talk but will reply when spoken to?
Siri.
What can't talk but will reply when spoken to? I don't think this is very well written.
Phone.
This is gonna
Parrot.
make you mad.
A parrot.
I didn't write these.
Just tell me.
An echo.
Gosh,
What can't
we've had an
talk?
echo one before. It's way better than that one. That one stinks.
Let's do.
question.
Gosh,
I'm getting so competitive now. I want to get one right. Come on, give me.
Okay,
come on.
okay.
Rapid fire.
Can't
Can't you just read the next one?
Oh my God, you're not gonna believe this one. What gets bigger when more is taken away? Oh my!
A hole.
A hole. That's what it is. It's a hole. It's perfect. That's literally a perfect one to end on. That is literally. I cannot believe that just happened.
This whole episode has been about this.
This is insane.
Get it? This
Yes,
whole episode.
Yes, is brought to you by.
This whole episode is brought to you by.
You do it so well. I feel like I'm gonna like literally
It's
choke.
starting to rip my
I'm
throat
going
apart.
to
It's like
choke.
there's now a hole in my
Okay.
hole.
So for anyone who has stayed to the very end here, we have a special announcement.
I know we say that every time, but I'm entertained right now.
I know you.
Like I think the end of episodes
I-
are better than the beginning
Yeah, well,
because
yeah,
they disintegrate into
there's
holes.
some craziness that goes on at the end of these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, why? If you're
I'm
not
sorry.
into it, why are you even listening? Go listen to Prancing Pony. Go listen to the Tolkien Professor. Go get your jollies somewhere else. If you don't like this kind of stuff,
Ranchers?
get out of here. Jolly Rangers.
They're good. They're delicious.
Jolly Rangers.
Yeah.
T-shirt idea.
Yeah, that's actually yes.
With that font.
Wow.
Are they just stupid words?
You are
in
just
different fonts.
coming up? This
Dumb.
guy is a slogan machine over
Yeah,
here. He's
I like
crazy.
it.
There's a hole in your theory.
Oh, God. Anyways, if you have stayed to the very end here, in the last video version, which I'm going to publish and make live for you upon hearing this, you're going to be able to go see that video.
Seems only fitting.
It will be featured on our YouTube channel. There somewhere is Gandalf's mark. Somewhere I've laid Gandalf's mark in the video.
Okay.
And on that video, anyone who comments with the time at which Gandalf's mark is, there's a little range.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you comment down below,
Do they have to put the range or the actual time?
just the
stamp?
time, just a time stamp anywhere in
Okay.
there around Gandalf's mark. Anyone can do this. Anyone who listens can go there and comment. You have to be subscribed and comment, and you have to do that by June 15th. You're going to be entered in our giveaway, and I think we have a ton of stuff
Okay.
to give away.
Free shipping.
And yes, Free shipping.
It's something
we'll
that
pay
gets
for
people excited. You're free shipping. You're like, okay.
Oh, we're just gonna give it to you.
No minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
No minimum.
Yeah. You just have to comment. You just have to comment. Okay, that's all you have to do. We want you to go
when you
over
send
and
5
subscribe to our
emails,
YouTube.
you get free shipping.
Once we get over there, so it's kind of cool. I was just doing the editing, and I was like, I kind of want to throw Candace Mark in here somewhere, and I was like, I don't even know why. I was like, oh, I know why. Yeah, so there it is. So go check that out. That was Not at Home with Kurt Jones. Okay,
And you're going to do it for this
I
episode
believe
as
we're
well?
going to do it for this one as well, just because of the way we've got our camera angle and we got some room in the margin. I think we'll do it. We give you kind of 1 week from the time that you hear this episode where we announced it, and then you can go check it out, leave your comment, see what we get. Okay, so there we go. Little giveaway for you.
I like it a ton.
Yeah, a ton. All right, let's finish this whole episode up.
Well, I mean, before we finish, I want to thank Mike Charles for being here in my little hobbit hole. Shire of America, back in person after like almost 2 years of not seeing each other. It's not going to be that long, before we see each other again. And we do have a really fun idea for a future episode that will finally bring you and Kurt Jones together.
Yes. Be great.
I mean, you've been floating down the Anduin, just dead.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
He's heard the horn.
Yep.
And did you blow it? Was it metaphorical? Was it literal? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's been looking for you.
Let's go.
He's going to find the remains of his brother. We're going to reanimate those remains. And there's going to be a whole lot of fun going on. But seriously, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
No.
I would like you to say
great.
the BK at the end. You know what I'm saying? Code.
Last 2 lines there. Last 2 words.
So I'm going to read. I'm going to read the green. He's going to read the blue. This is great. I don't know why I'm saying this.
We're rehearsing.
I just want you to say the tagline at the end.
Okay. Yeah, don't say it first.
Is that okay?
That's bad luck if you say it beforehand.
Yeah, you got to.
Literally, this is hit your mark. Hit your mark.
I got
okay?
you. I got it.
Either the thrush sounds like Gandalf, or Bard just has this weird tick where he's like,
this is one of my favorite things.
Just before he fires every arrow, he goes.
This is turned into the most ridiculous thing ever.
And he's summoning the strength of Gandalf just in the future.
God,
we want to thank you, for firing an arrow true with us, for hitting the mark, and for experiencing both yet fire and yet water. Yeah. From of old.
From of old. Look for the shirt.
Next week we're going to be getting into chapter 15. Which is the gathering.
That's what I said.
Of clouds.
Yeah.
From which both fire and water
come from.
Come from.
They come of old. They come of old. All right. If you like our podcast, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to go comment on that video and make sure you get entered into that giveaway. Like us, write a review, leave a comment, or send us a Shadowfax.
We'll see you next time. And remember,
Bilbo knows.